Welcome to the Deadass podcast. Well, welcome everyone to the Deadass podcast. I am your host, Bryzy, where we capture those stories and eulogies of people's lives. And today is a very special episode for myself. I feel very honored and privileged to have Mr. Ben Millett come down all the way from Townsville to share in his story, his eulogy of his life. And this is in part why I did begin this whole podcast, was to give the opportunity for people to share their stories and their eulogies. And Ben is going to share with us his story. He is currently battling cancer at the moment, and I'm just honored to give him a platform to be able to share his journey thus far, all the way from where he grew up as a young fella up until this point now as we talk today. So, g'day Ben, how are you, mate?
Yeah, good, mate.
That's good. Yeah, good, mate. Thank you very much for coming on here, mate.
No, mate, it's a pleasure to be on here.
Yeah, a mutual friend of ours, Bagheero.
Yeah,
made a mention.
So Jared's mother turns out to be my wife's best friend, so that's
so there's the connection there.
Yeah, like they always say, that 2 degrees of separation. You know, you're only 2 degrees away from somewhere you need to be, you know.
Yeah, so, that's exactly right. That's a good point.
But, yeah.
No, mate, look, I like I said in the intro, you know, this is partly why I wanted to do this podcast.
Yeah.
Because over the years of being in the funeral industry, I have seen many stories of people's lives. I've heard them, speaking to them prior to their own funerals. You know, I'm in that sort of situation where some people like to pre-organize or pre-arrange their own funeral plans, and you know, they'll sit there and I'll have these conversations with people, and it does get a bit personal, and I hear these amazing stories of their lives, and you know, unfortunately, when the time comes and they do pass away, those stories and those memories, they all go with that person,
especially if they haven't told them.
That's exactly right. Yeah,
and that, you know, it was funny when, like I said, I'd been listening to you for a while and I got onto you through the Alpha Blokes, but not the day after I spoke to you, I was telling a mate about it, and he said, "You wouldn't read about it." He was only talking to his daughter not a day before about how cool would it have been to be able to record Pop's stories. And when I told him about what you were doing, because he talked to his daughter and he said, "How cool would it be to drive around and do that for people? You could probably make a living out of it."
That's right.
And I said, "Well, you wouldn't believe it, mate, but this is," and he said, "Wow, you know, like that's so good that people do that, because if I don't tell my kids what I did, how are they expected to tell their you know what I mean?"
That's exactly right.
Especially, and it changes when you got grandkids, you know what I mean?
Of course it does.
That's where the whole...
Yeah, but also too, like they get to hear it from your voice.
Yeah,
they get to hear it directly from the horse's mouth, you would say.
Yeah.
You know, and they get to hear your dialect, they get to hear your tone, they get to hear everything.
Yeah,
and
all the personal. Time was just photographs.
That's exactly right.
Photographs. Yeah. And you know, that's one thing I've started doing is everything I do with my horses that I take photos with, or with my grandson. If I put it on Facebook, I just hashtag it with 2 horsepower.
Yeah.
So that if the kids ever want to go there, there'll be other stuff there as well. Whoever, you know, anybody, it's the same, whatever you hashtag, you go there and you can find. But as long as you look, you'll find it, you know what I mean?
Yeah, so, definitely.
Because my grandson's only 3.
Yes.
So he'll be able to pick me out of a photo forever. He's never going to forget my face. But
yes.
He's not old enough to remember doing stuff with Pop.
Yeah.
He can point out what Pop looks like and all that, but... Yeah, you know, like, so it's so that they can, like you say, hear your voice, whereas back in the day they couldn't. And
right.
Even then, you know, I suppose in the 80s and that we had camcorders and that sort of thing, but it was only the well-to-do that had them. Like,
that's right.
You know, we didn't buy one till, I think we got one in 2009 or 2010. They were old news then, you know, and by that stage people were doing it on their phones, and we bought a little handy cam, you know what I mean? Like,
that's exactly right. And the thing is too, like, when you take a video of something, you're only capturing a little moment.
Yeah.
Like a moment of that where they might be doing something very fun or something different.
And that's what it normally is. It's not the
real life stuff.
Exactly,
it's not the everyday thing.
You don't get to hear about the bad time. You know what I mean?
That's
like,
right, yeah.
A lot of people don't talk about their shit days, but makes you. You know,
Yeah, of course
what I mean?
it does. It makes you who you
can't
are.
just have all good days. You know what I mean? Otherwise,
Of course.
if we all walked around having all good days, it'd be a terrible place to live in. You know, you gotta
that's
have
exactly right.
That's how you learn by continually making mistakes and hopefully not making the same one twice. You know?
That's exactly right. And so that's why, in part, why we've got you here, mate. You're going to indulge us in your story of your life, and at least now we know that we've got that cemented for you and your family.
Yeah.
So, mate, going from here, let's go into it where you sort of grew up, where you were born, that sort of stuff, and then we'll sort of move on from there and discuss the main, in part, why you're here today as well.
Yeah. So, I was born in Sydney.
Yep.
Go the Blues tonight. So if you don't know, we're recording this on State of Origin Day, and much to Cole's disgust.
Yes, he was disgusted.
In Cole's words, I thought you were a good cunt, but apparently not. I'm like, well, fuck you too, Cole, for today. But,
Nice to meet you.
Yeah, nice to meet you, mate. But yeah, so no, born in Sydney. I was actually adopted. So most people that know me know that, but some that know me possibly don't. But I was the only bit that I know from, and I don't know whether it's something I've made up or I was told, because I've known I was adopted my whole life. It's never
okay. Yeah.
So I used to see movies and on Neighbours, and someone would be told they're adopted at 14, and it'd be a surprise, and I'm like, well, that's a prick of a way to do it, because I've just always known. I can't remember when they told me, but I've always known.
Yeah.
So what I'm led to believe is she was a 17-year-old girl from the country.
Yep.
Was at boarding school. Mm-hmm. And I believe somebody got tied up with a young fella from the army, and being in 1971, it still wasn't the done thing for single mothers. They weren't handing $5,000 out to bail them out, you know what I mean? As quick as you can. So at 8 weeks of age, I was adopted. So and I don't know whether I spent those first 8 weeks with my mother. I'm guessing that I probably would have. Back in them days, she would have been, being that she was so young and at boarding school, hospital 8 weeks, and whether it was a woman's home or whatever it was. Anyway, so at 8 weeks of age, I was adopted by Dad's name was Ian Millett, mother's name was Shirley. Yep. They lived in Newcastle. Dad worked for ARC, so the steel mob.
Yep.
I don't think we spent long in Newcastle. We pretty much Newcastle to Cairns. And then by the time I was 2, we were in New Guinea. So we spent a little bit of time.
Went overseas.
A bit of time in Papua New Guinea with ARC. I've got photos of me at the Port Moresby show, standing beside the mudmen with all the painted up with the big helmets and the whole show. So
yeah, cool.
I don't remember any of it, but and then it was back to Townsville, and pretty much Townsville from then on. Went to Hermit Park State School for grade 1 to 5, and then over to Central, and then we moved over to like my wife likes to tell me. So it was, we used to, and it's still called now, it's called Snob Hill. So
Snob Hill.
Yarrawonga in Townsville. It's where the people with money live, apparently.
The snobs.
Yeah.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, shout out to them. They're good people. Like and I knocked around with, and I'm not name dropping, but so Jeff Pickering, Mitsubishi. So he races cars now, but I grew up with his son, Carmichael Ford.
Yeah, cool.
You know what I mean? And I was always the odd one out. So I didn't really fit. I didn't fit the family. I didn't fit anywhere. So when I went to Townsville Grammar School, which is the duck nuts in Townsville, full co-ed schools, you know what I mean? You got Grammar, Cathedral and Iggy Park. They're sort of the three. And I know there's a lot more now, but back in the day that was probably it. So we lived up the top of the hill, and we used to like to rock a few roofs and stuff as kids, and I might have destroyed the odd solar heart here or there and run around behind the milkman, and as he's dropping the milk and the change off, we were doing it wrong. We were stealing the milk and the little bit of change. We didn't realise that the cash was there before he was delivering the milk. So when we got to work, anyway, terrible kids. We had a go-kart. Dad made us a billy cart, and we lived literally on this hill was wicked, so we'd go up and down on that anyway. So from there, once I started high school, every Wednesday we had to do sports. Yeah. And there was a lady there that knew my mother, and she said, because I was playing hockey and soccer and the usual sort of stuff. Yep. And she said, why don't you get Ben into horse riding, Yeah, right. So I go and try this out on a Wednesday ave, and then it turned into Wednesday for school, and then I was going out for lessons on Fridays and on the weekends, and then it turned out I was all but living there, you know what I mean? Like every chance I got, and it wasn't cheap, you know, we couldn't afford to buy a horse, but so the only way was to pay and I don't even know, it might have been, so back in the, sort of 83, 84, it might have been $30 a lesson, but I was going 3 or 4 times a week.
Wow.
And then, and it was all bareback. He never put us on a saddle. I never managed to get there, and I was there like 3 years. I rode there pretty much 2 or 3 times a week. And
did it just gel with you? Like,
it was right. So I remember when I was I would have been 9 or 10, I suppose. So my mum was from New Zealand originally, and I've been in New Zealand 8 or 9 times from 6 months of age up until 1988 was the last time I went over there when I finished grade 12. But I remember going over there when I was 9 or 10, and one of Mum's brothers had these Clydesdales.
Oh, big ones.
Yeah, proper big clumpers. And they've legged me up on one, and that was it for me, you know. And I had no idea, you know, I just liked horses. And then once I started riding them at grammar, did grade 8 and 9, wasn't really fitting in, you know, like back in the day when you used to get the cane. I was starting to get calluses from it, you know what I mean? I was getting that much. He was having to find different places to hit me, you know. So anyway, this same lady said, "Oh, there's this boarding school in Ravenshouse up on the Atherton Tablelands that's half academic, half agricultural."
Oh, okay, yeah, sure.
So some days we might spend the morning in the classroom doing maths and science and English and that sort of shit, and then in the afternoon we'd go and fence, or we'd go and everything from building yards, shoeing horses, riding horses, building saddles, making bridles, the leather work, up to we were glassing kayaks. We were building our own kayaks, like gel coat and kayak, like, and we were just, you know. So this boarding school, I was only talking to a friend was at Mareeba Radio on the weekend. I was talking to a friend up there, and we were the undiagnosed generation. So we were all kids that just didn't fit.
Yes.
And sent there, and there was a lot of young fellas from Cowan and Hopevale and Laura, and so a lot of First Nation boys there that didn't really like us white fellas, you know. So we got a fair sort of a hide, and if I said it was 4 times a week, it was probably more like 5 times a week. And I'm not talking just a bit in the ribs as they walk past. Like our bay, so we'd have a bay a little bit bigger than this, I suppose, but there'd be 10 blokes in it. So you'd have a double bunk, and then on one side underneath the bed would be a cupboard. So that would be where you put all your clothes and personal items, and then you'd have a desk to do your study on.
Yeah, sure.
So we'd set them up so that we had a big area in the middle and put all the beds around the outside, and then there was only a walkway of 2 or 3 people wide in and out. So, you know, we'd be in there having a shower after school or something, and there'd be a dozen of them turning up and just kick the shit out of us.
Really?
And it wasn't even that, man. You'd be sitting down the back having a diary, you know, hiding from the teacher. They'd walk around, one of them walk in the corner, want a cigarette, and if you said you didn't have one or whatever, it should be a quick belt in the jaw. And, you know, it was years later, we had a reunion probably 10 years ago, 25-year reunion, and the old headmaster's wife and that were there, and I spent a bit of time weeding the strawberry patch on the weekends, you know, for doing things you shouldn't be doing, you know, for detention. But the headmaster had the hottest daughter in school, you know what I mean? And we were just good friends. Like, anyway, 25 years later, we catch up, and he was writing a book, and he wanted to sit down and talk to people about it, you know. And so I told him what I thought of boarding school. I loved it, but I didn't like the bashings. I didn't like the constant bashings for, you know, it was...
Yeah, but that's rough, isn't it?
Well, and it wasn't just me. You know, I could name 10 blokes.
Yeah.
Easy 10 fellas that I knew were getting it regularly. And we thought we were the cool people. We thought we were the cool kids, you know. We thought we were the cool kids because there were some queer kids there, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
of course.
Not queer, but you think about it now, you know, like we were all different when none of us fit. So one Sheila there, she used to spend her weekends in the back paddock eating mushrooms.
Really?
Imagine, she moved from one patch to the other. She's a tripper, but no one fuck with her.
No, I wouldn't either.
Anyone fuck with her, mate, she would just lie to me. She's a police officer now. Every year I go to Mareeba Radio, I try and get her to put fucking handcuffs on her, she won't do it. Every year I catch up with her. She's awesome, mate, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, that's cool.
But she'd clearly had a different upbringing to the rest of us. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
And as I got older, so I held a grudge for a long time. So
look, I don't blame you. I would too, but
I still like I never grouped them all together.
yeah,
But I tell you what, if you want to mouth off, then I'm going to be the first fella to jump in because of what somebody you don't know,
Yes.
probably not related to,
Yes.
but you got the same skin color. I'm going to take what they did to me 20 years ago out on you. But anyway, so as I get older, I start to travel around and do Laura radio, and you start to get around to these places, you get up this territory, and I understand why they disliked us so much, because when you see the shitholes that they've got to live in,
yeah,
I get why you're cranky. I now understand why they were coming with hate, because as far as they're concerned, I'm a white fella.
yeah,
So I'm the one that's not giving you guys the health and housing and all the shit they need.
yeah,
I get it now. I understand.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But so yeah, that was boarding school, and I've got lifelong friends. We'd have study every night. They'd make a study from, I think it was about 7:30 to 8:30, and then we had sort of an hour and a half before lights out at 10. So while study was on, we'd all supposed to be in our bays, and the one doormaster would sort of come and check, but after dinner, you just eat dinner and it'd be righto, who wants hot chips from the roadhouse? So we do fucking roadhouse runs. It was about 600 or 700 metres down the road to the 24-hour roadhouse. Well, it wasn't 24-hour, but it stayed open until 10 o'clock.
yeah,
So we'd get lists down, and then someone would fuck off during study time, and you'd be running down the road in pitch black, and as soon as a set of lights would come, someone yell out car, and you'd all fucking dive in the gully and be hiding, you know what I mean? You get down to the roadhouse, and mate, the people at the roadhouse knew where these kids were coming from in the middle of the fucking night, but shit like that, you know what I mean? And we'd have local discos, and they'd let us. We had because the school had was cassettes back then, but when you could hit, remember you used to be able to hit play and fast forward, and it'd fast forward just that one song.
yes.
That's how we used to queue them up on too. So
Did you?
I was running the decks, you know.
A bit of disc jockeying.
Yeah, this is back in the day. It was just kid shit, but it was at Ravenshoe's. I don't know how many people live there now, but there was fuck all there then. There may be 300 or 400 people, but they had a local school and shit as well. But so we'd get down for the local discos, and you'd set that up, and they know you need a couple of helpers. Oh, well, I got to take me mate, and we need, there needs to be 4 of us. Oh, well, yeah, we'll take these 2 Sheilas, and it'd be your girlfriend and this girl. So you'd set up real quick, and you'd be out the back canoodling, until the disco started. But and then just some of the shit they let us do, you know what I mean? Like you couldn't run a school like that now. Like literally, we'd go out 15, 20 minutes, sort of. So I don't know if you know Ravenshoe, but if you go out west towards Mount Garnet, sort of out Silver Valley way, we had the school had a property there, and we pretty much built all the yards. We built chutes. We built.
Oh, did you really?
Oh, built stables. Literally everything. We'd go and cut the timber.
Yeah.
And we were learning all this from Jeff Blacklock was the father's name, which turns out related to my wife. But,
oh wow, small world.
Yeah, it's a real small world. It gets even smaller. But so yeah, we'd go out there, and we'd go out there during the week, and then on the weekends, you could hit him up.
Oh, okay.
Say, can we come out to yours on the weekend? So he was an instructor, and he had a missus and kids and that, but he did all his instruction he was leather work. I made a couple of saddles with him. We were making bridles. We were making everything.
Cool.
It was all, and he was teaching us. And this was back when, so this was 86, 87, 88. I was up there. That was at St. Barnabas in Ravenshoe, but we were rolling our own threads. So you'd get like wax, and these threads, you'd roll them and they'd pull apart, and then you'd get 5 or 6 of them, however many you needed, and then you roll them together with beeswax, and that's what you do all the hand stitching and everything. So yeah, that was and I remember we dug a thunderbox. So the was a Edinburgh. It's an Edinburgh, like a Duke of Edinburgh award sort of thing.
Oh,
so,
yeah, okay.
So where you go, they take kids from schools, and you can do hiking, and so we were doing kayaking. We were going down the Tully River and the Mill Stream, and so we'd build these friggin' kayaks from the long pointy ones. I don't know what they're called anymore. To the little short ones, I think are called bats or something.
Yeah.
So we were building all this shit at school,
That's cool.
Milking cows. So part of the deal was milking cows, and when there's a school full of weirdos, obviously someone's down the cow shed with molasses, and the same fella was getting caught all the time, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And this poor bastard, look, same fella, every time you walk in the corner, there'd be a calf just locked on, and be like, you only got to put your finger in a calf's mouth, mate. There's no way. they always say don't put your fingers where you wouldn't put your dick. You put your fingers in a cow's mouth, that's straight away not a good place to put your dick. They have got it's worse than a cat. You know what I mean? Like, but this poor bastard, so cigarettes were currency up there.
Yeah, it would have been.
But back in the day, they fucking sell cigarettes to anyone. So
you could back then too, eh?
yeah,
it was so relaxed with that.
And it was like $2 a packet or whatever it was, you know. So anyway, once again, coming from the Silver Spoon family, I had an account at the local 7-Eleven. Fuck me, my father hated me, eh? Like, he would just fucking ring me and just feed it to me about the shit I was buying there, eh? Like, and then, so that was, he used to give it to me about that, but...
And ticking up the currency.
Oh, mate, it was chocolates, it was biscuits, it was lollies, it was fucking cigarettes, it was shit, mate. Like, and so second year, this is all going through boarding school, but so when I was 16, so grade 11, second year, 87, Dad passed away.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. So it was a bit strange. I was still a kid.
Yeah, of course you were. Yeah,
and I was and coming from wealth. I get it now. We were wealthy. We weren't wealthy compared to the people that were living on the hill.
Yeah, but you're definitely comfortable.
I mean? But we didn't want for anything. And if you know what I mean, like if I wanted to, this was when Billabong board shorts were first coming out. So if I wanted a pair of Billabong board shorts,
I could
go. Mum would buy me a pair. You know.
Yeah.
But so Dad was pretty strict. Like he was very healthy, sporty.
Yeah.
He was Hash House Harry's. I don't know if you know what that is. So it's where they draw chalk arrows on the ground and they run around yelling out on and they've got fake trails. It's just a pisshead's fucking running club. Like Dad would come home just reeking of piss all the time, you know. Like this was back in Devon used to drive. Like
it was
no, you know, this is back when vehicles were made of steel and you could run into each other and nobody died and you'd say, catch you later, mate, I'll knock that out with a hammer tomorrow, it'll be all good, you know. But so he was sitting out the front of his doctor's first appointment. He was always up in the morning, polish his shoes, you know, socks pulled up, fucking the whole thing. He was a land developer in Townsville, and he was sitting out the front of the doctor's office waiting to see him, first appointment, and the doctor turned up and he was fucking dead in the chair out the front.
You're kidding me?
No, massive heart attack.
50, wow.
I don't even think he was, I think, so this is how bad I am. I don't even know how old he was, mate, you know what I mean? I couldn't even tell you fucking date he died. That's how useless I am, you know. Mum's different, but so Dad was only young. He was early 50s, if that. And he was fit. Yeah. But, you know, and he was so both Mum and Dad smoked and drank. Yep. Dad more than Mum. Dad drank Brisbane Bitter, because I remember the old Brisbane Bitter cartons with the fucking playing cards, and he'd win it. I know it clicks now as I got older. It clicked because he had everything. He had the fucking Brisbane Bitter serving trays and the glasses and fucking
all the merch.
Yeah. So he was drinking a lot of piss, you know, but and smoke, but they wouldn't. And it was strange to me though. Well, what was normal to me now, it's strange because the moment Dad got home, she'd be short shirt, work gear off, outside, crack a beer, light a cigarette, and he'd be out watering the yard. Yeah, and smoke and drink, and then he'd fall asleep downstairs. We'd have dinner upstairs, and Mum would take his down to him, and you'd go to bed later downstairs, and he'd be fucking choked down in the chair, you know. But so he was right into his hockey. Yep. He played for Australia and Queensland in the veterans. So veterans. Yeah. So he in Townsville there's a Hockey West Hockey Club. Used to be Boomerangs back in the day, and I'm talking back in the 70s, I think. And Dad changed it from Boomerangs to West. So we used to have I remember some wild parties at home with hockey players and so they were into the fancy dress stuff. Oh, yeah. So old Knuckles with his fucking yowie. Dad had this gorilla suit. I remember Mum and Dad making it out of fucking Hessian bags and literally stitching and then dyeing it black, and he sent away for the rubber hands and the mask, and it used to scare the shit out of some people. You know, he had this, and Dad had all the funny shit, you know. So with this Hash House Harry's club, they'd have all these funny shirts, but, you know, like just was all like cartoony sort of stuff. You know? But yeah, he had this apron he used to wear, and on this side it had just a little bit of fluff, and it said this little tiny willy, and it said his. And then on this side there's a little bit of fluff, and it said hers. And then there was a thing where you put it in, and he pulled out this fucking 10-inch long cock, and then on the side of it said mine. It's like, I think about it now. Here's hers, mine. And that was before grade 5, so that was back when we were living on the flats, But
that would have been a bit of a shock to the system, mate. Bloody having the old boy,
and especially the way it happened, mate. So I'd been out horse riding all morning. We come back in for lunch, back to school, and had a shower and that. And while I was having lunch, our headmaster wants to see you. I'm like, straight away, what the fuck have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? What have I done wrong? Get in there and he tells me, and I just fucking lose it.
Yeah.
Yeah, right. No, all good. No worries. I'll go back. And he goes, no, hang on a minute. You're going to have to go home. And I'm like, yeah, no.
Yeah.
I don't want to go home. I'm good, mate. She's all right. Whatever. I'll just keep. Anyway, I had to go home and do the whole thing, and Mum met me at the bus station when I got off, and that was pretty emotional. And
of course it would have been, mate.
And that was my first foray into death. Was, and I'm probably wrong. I'm probably remembering it wrong because I've been to plenty of funerals now and the curtains close.
Yes.
But all I can remember is the fucking coffin going down in front of me.
Yeah, there's a good possibility that
this was at the crematorium in Townsville. So that was 1987. So however long that was, 30 years.
Some crematoriums actually have a floor where the coffin sits on, and instead of a curtains closing, they'll actually press a button and it'll lower. So it did, and that I hadn't seen any emotion from my sister up to this stage, and and I can't even remember if she showed any then because I just fucking lost my shit. Oh, I don't blame you.
I was just, I'm like, Mum's fucking wow, and I don't know what, my sister was probably the same. And from then on, that is how I envisaged it all the time. And so now when I just see the curtains close, I go, right, oh, they must have stopped that because it's fucking probably freaked too many people out. Well, I don't know, but
I think what they originally were doing was to emulate like what you do with a burial. You see the coffin lower.
Yeah.
As the coffin's lowering, they try to re-emulate it with the creme.
Yeah.
With the crematorium.
Yeah.
So but no, like that, and that could be a little bit distressing to some people, obviously, and even the curtains closing too, because I've had plenty of times there over the years where the family have actually like personally requested, can you leave the curtains open? Like, can we leave and then you can close afterwards?
Yeah.
Because that's a completely natural reaction, mate.
It's a definite closure then, you know what I mean? And then from then on it was well, no one can stop, no one can tell me what to do now.
Yeah.
Not even my mother, and I turned into an arsehole.
Did you?
Oh, fucking right cunt of a kid. Like,
really?
Proper. You look up cunt of a kid in the dictionary, there would have been me going, fuck you.
Yeah.
Because what's mum going to do?
Yeah, that's right. Because Dad was always, when I grew up, Dad was the one that did the punishing, or he was the authority.
Mate, I said shit one day. I was wrapping fucking sellotape around me push bike for a fancy dress bike day, push bike day at school, and it broke, and I said shit, and all I could hear was 2 footsteps across the fucking garage, and then just boom, back of the head for saying shit. Yet we'd drive around in the car, and he'd go, have a look at this fucking stupid cunt in front of us. Have a go at this come on, you fucking idiot. Yeah. What shade of green does it need to be before you go? And I'm like, righto, so that's the rules in the car then, but just don't say shit around Dad. So that was, he was definitely the authority.
Yeah.
And then, I'd go to boarding school and continue to get the shit kicked out of me and still have a good time. We still had a fat time. It was, we're there 24/7 because I lived so far away. So kids that lived anywhere from Ravenshoe to Cairns on that Atherton Tablelands or anywhere, they could be just week boarders, so stay all week and then they could go home on the weekends.
Yeah.
We couldn't do that. So on the weekends, you could the shit we used to do on the weekends with just
all kinds of mischief.
All proper kinds of mischief. But then the places they would take us, the places they'd take us out to Millstream Falls and just let 57 kids or whatever the fuck we could fit on the big bus, just let them loose at these raging fucking waterfalls and rapids, and there'd be one fucking instructor, we'd only have to con one doormaster into fucking driving the bus, and there'd be whatever we could fit on the bus, mate, and away we'd go. And it was just loose, mate. Like how nobody got proper injured is just beyond, same deal. We'd talk Jeff Blacklock and letting us come out there for the weekends, and they were the best weekends when we were out with the horses, and we just spent all weekend riding horses or building yards or shoeing horses. We did in 1988, they had a bicentennial trail ride from Maytown to Cooktown, so the old gold mail run. Yep. And I can't remember how many kids from school, how many of us from school, and there would have been a dozen or 15 maybe. So we spent months before exercising the horses, and then we did this 7-day trail ride where the army pretty much carted all our swags and provided food and everything for us, and we just rode that old Maytown. And there was one loose unit, I can't remember his, I wish I could. He had an old 6-wheel drive Blitz, and the army went the way you need to go to get everything there reasonably safely, but not old mate in this fucking Blitz. He wanted to go the same way we went. Fuck, and he had all the swags and shit. So he was, but that old Blitz went everywhere. We went with the fucking horses, and then you'd get, when we first started, there was we're looking at some of the horses going, fucking hell, look at this. They're just big, fat horses been kept in stables and never, just way too overweight. And then you get, halfway through the second night of the trail ride, horse got colic. Where's all the kids? So they'd have us walking the fucking horse because we were all young school. Because there wasn't a lot of kids on it, you know what I mean? There was more adults, more trail riding and that sort of thing. So it'd be, you get these young school kids there learning about that. So we just walk these horses around with colic. One of our horses ended up getting colic because they were running nose bags, see? So we had to be all, so I don't know if you know what a nose bag is, but it's, back in the day, it's just a feed bag. When it's empty, you fold it in half and then a bit of baling twine either side, enough to go up over their ears, and then you put their feet in and just hitch it up over their nose. Yep. And then you're not having to carry feed bins and shit around. And sometimes dusty feed can cause colic. So if I'm ever feeding horse some more, I always try and wet it down a bit to stop that. But nose bags can lead to that a bit if your feed's a bit dusty. But no, that was like
sorry, mate, I'll just hang on one sec.
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah, mate. So the trail rides. Sorry, mate. I had to stop you there for a sec.
All good. So that was I remember bits and pieces of it, but last day was pretty much riding down the main drag Cooktown.
Oh, really?
Which was something different, do it on horses. Yeah. But and then so that sort of got the bug with horses, and then through the horse riding instructor, Jeff Blacklock, he so when they grade 12, they sort of start asking you what you want to do after school.
Yeah, okay, yep.
And I was lazy at school. Probably should have applied myself a bit more. So they had.
But you finished year 12.
Oh yeah, definitely. Yeah, I went to year 12, and then I went to Ag College and did an associate diploma in applied.
Oh wow.
But
it's funny though. Like it wasn't. It was quite common for people to finish grade 10.
Oh, 100%, 100%.
Yeah, and so that in itself is a credit to you.
Yeah. So and I'd say things would probably have been different if so I didn't realise that Dad was trying to get me out of school and fucking into work before, there'd been talks about it that this little fucker up there, is just fucking running amok and spending all the
ticking up the money at the convenience store.
Fucking how about we get him to do some work,
Yeah.
But I'm enjoying this sort of life. Yeah. So Jeff says, I've got an uncle that's running a cattle property up at Croydon, and they start coming to school telling you shit. And there was a rural, back in them days, they did what they called a rural traineeship. Okay. So it's like a 12-month deal. They get you in and you do sort of 2 or 3 months at a time at a property, and then you'll go down to an ag college. And back in them days, there was a few of them. There was Longreach, Emerald, Burdekin. So there was a few of them. And because I lived in Townsville, I'd do mine through the Burdick. Anyway, I said, oh, yeah, that sounds all right. So they signed me up and, so it must have been the start of 89. I get a lift up to Croydon and I'm straight out of town. I've never been fucking nowhere like that. You know, thought I'd been country, but not even fucking close. Get out there and anyway, the first day I turn up, the old fella I'm working for, he's comes out to meet me and he's got this fucking big pad across his chest. I'm like, what the fuck? I had a bit of a mishap. It's fucking blisters. 2-inch eye, just fucking full of just still full.
That's a mishap.
Oh, yeah, he's fucking young fella turned up the day before and he's Falcon Ute and it was overheating. So Dad said, hey, I know how to fix this. Pop the bonnet, lean over the radiator and crack the fucking But this bastard was tough, mate. So that was, met him like that. And,
that was your introduction to it?
Yeah, introduction to it, you know, and they sort of weaned me. We didn't get there till late in the afternoon, so they weaned me into it and fucking this is where you're living and the bag's here and I'm like, fucking hell, what have I done, you know? Anyway, next morning, excuse me, I get up and here he is fucking riding a horse, you know. Little did I know that was only this horse's second fucking ride. And just,
oh, really?
Just no stopping him, just tough man, like just hard, you know. I had no idea. I'd never mustered. I'd done a little bit of mustering cattle, but they were dead quiet. Never had to chase anything through the bush or anything, you know. Like we used to gallop through the bush at boarding school, but we were doing, you know, we had sort of tracks we'd go and see. That was a big eye opener, you know. Like the cattle up there, they I think the only time they went mustering was when they want to feed and just found one and shot it, and because these bastards were fast. You know, we're trying to chase them through quinine. We're trapping most stuff. We'd set portable yards up and trap them around water and that, and then you'd go up with the truck and, you know, try not to get fucking run over. And we're talking 10, 11-year-old big Sperry on bullocks and just shit that I hadn't seen, just crazy. I was no good for it. Like, I wasn't no good for it. It was a sharp learning curve, you know. Like we'd run cattle through the yards and be branding calves and that in the cradle, and then anything that was too big for the cradle, old mate would just fucking throw a rope over his, throw a rope around its head out in the big yard and say, righto, young fellas, you fucking shimmy down that rope and fucking, you know, we were bulldogging big Mickeys, you know what I mean? 12, 18-month-old, big shit, like shit you couldn't fit in the crowd, but had to brand. They were clean skin, you know what I mean? So, but we were young and dumb and didn't care, you know what I mean? We were up at, you know, breakfast was at 5 and we had to do something before breakfast, whether it run horses or sweep the shed or fucking check the oil and shit in the machines or whatever. Then we'd have brekkie and away we'd go, and, you know, once a month or once every 6 weeks we'd stick your hands out for a check. You know, we're on, what was that, 89? We're on $100.20 a week and we're working fucking 5 a.m. till still driving around 8 o'clock at night with panels on the utes fucking going to the net, just living in the bush too. Like he sent us out fencing and we, you know, I was fresh out of school, so I don't fucking think I was 18. 89, I would have been turned 18 at the end of that year. And another young fella there, he was only 15 or 16, and then there was an older bloke there, but he was fucking no good. Johnny had got him, picked him up from Mareeba and brought him out and said, oh, brought out, you know, he's fucking handyman fella. And first job was to spot weld, just oxy weld the radiator on the cruiser up. I knew nothing about welding, but I didn't realise old mate's got the cut and tip on it. And he's just warming up the radiator, and the moment he put the fucking wire in and pushed the trigger, he fucking blew like a 3-inch hole in the front of this radiator. Fucking yeah. But apparently it's my fault that the fucking motor blew up later because I drove it with no water on it. But anyway, I wasn't the fuckhead who fucked the radiator. So I couldn't put water in the fucking thing.
No, what are you going to do?
What am I going to do? I got to get something. Anyway, that's the reason why this old fella thought we were mob of useless pricks, you know. Like we'd be coming back with 40 fucking panels on the back of this old cruiser. And we'd go around the corner too quick because we thought we were Juan Fangio, you know, fucking out in the centre or something. And they just like a pack of cards. And the night that it happened one night and fucking 10 o'clock, he comes back looking for us. What the fuck? And we just literally put the last panel up and he goes, what? Oh, we lost him. you fucking little pricks, why don't you just fucking learn how to tie knots instead of playing fucking cards and singing and dancing or whatever you fucking do over there? Because we'd work shit hard all day and then have a feed, you know, dark. If we were around the house or whatever, fencing or, you know, not mustering. When we weren't out mustering and shit, you know, we'd be back over the dongas. There's fucking no TV, nothing to do.
Yeah,
so
what else do you do?
What else? We play cards and fucking. So when we'd go to town, we'd just blow our whole fucking checks straight to the local store. Man, she knew us. She'd just take the checks and we'd just walk around and we'd be buying rolls of 10 tins of fucking old school log cabin, the old flake stuff, and you know, you buy a carton of tailor-mades because tailor-mades were easier to smoke when you're on young horses, you know. Like the old fucking click of the tin lid, mate, on a young horse generally gets them to fucking drop the head, and then you just fucking throw every. I got dropped one day and had to walk home because this fucking thing took off. And,
oh, no.
Oh, yeah. 3 days later, we found it. One fucking stirrup iron was gone. The bridle was fucking.
Oh, really?
Anyway, you live and learn. But, you know, he was a hard man. I could ride, but I wasn't real. I was still learning a bit of cattle sense, you know.
Yeah.
So he sent me back. We had a mob there. We were pushing towards a trap. And he sent me back to get the truck. Anyway, off I've gone. And I must have got fucking bushed or something, ended up on a road and went fucking left, right, fuck it, I'll go left. Fucking trotted off left for a good 45 minutes until I'm like, what is that? And I've pulled up and I've been trotting past cattle and shit and everything. And I pull up and I can see the boss and the other fellas. I'm like, fuck, I've gone. So I've turned around. Flat the fucking other way.
Oh, jeez.
Get the truck, turn up, come back to him, and he goes, fucking hell, what took you so long? And I said, I ended up here and went this way. And he goes, oh, you see any cattle along there? I said, yep. He said, I'll bet them fuckers are gone tomorrow when we're there looking for them. You just fucking scared them all off. You fucking useless. Like just shit.
Yeah.
Stupid shit, mate. I had no fucking idea, you know what I mean? Like, and he just working us hard. Like, so I'd go. What I didn't realise was, I just thought he was, and he was a hard man. But then, so I did 3 months up there, and then I went to the ag college, back to the Burdekin Ag College, where we would go and do. I think it was 2 weeks. Or no, it might have been 4 weeks. We might have gone for 4 weeks. I think each stint we'd go there for 4 weeks, and so then we'd do stuff. We'd do like butchering skills, and they'd teach us how to sharpen knives, and we'd do a bit of fucking English and bullshit, learning how to write resumes, and a bit of welding, and a bit of this and that. But it was mostly just chasing girls and radio. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, of course. That's why you're young and dumb.
Exactly right, mate. And but we'd go out and start doing cowboy shit, like ringing shit, fencing and that sort of stuff. And I would realise then it would twig how much further ahead I was of all these other kids that were in the same position as me. Like, there was young fellas that were coming from cattle stations that would do the rural traineeship to go somewhere other than home. So they already knew most of the shit. But for a lot of us that were coming from city side of things, I was leaps and bounds in front of me. Even now when I'm fencing, I still quote shit that he used to say to me, because he'd always whinge you. If you had a fucking 8-inch tailor wire, you're wasting fucking wire clearly on it. You know what I mean? So now when I get a nice, neat little tailor, I go, hey, there you go, Johnny. You better get that one, mate. Like, fucking
that's cool that you do that.
Yeah, but
I like that.
But he would, he'd say shit like, you know, you're fucking riding along smoking and carrying on. When I was a kid, I'd, you know, crack the heads off fucking squatter pigeons, and mum would make fucking pigeon pie, you know, like fucking bullshit, right? Then one day, you know, you hear the whip crack and he calls you up and you go back to him and these 3 squatter pigeons back there, mate, with fucking no heads, go and pick them up. And you ride back, sure enough, mate, there they are, fucking heads broken, all butt off. Yeah. And it's like...
He backed it up.
Yeah, and he could back everything up. That was the worst part about him. He was a hard man, and cruel at sometimes, but he could fucking back it all up. Every fucking last bit of it, mate. He could, you know, so he didn't smoke. He didn't smoke during the day. So he was another only smoke after work.
Like a social one.
But once he cracked a beer, he was chain smoking. He was lighting one off the other, you know. But he'd say, but then he'd start the chest would come out and he'd start telling you how good he was. You know,
Yeah.
Hey, ever seen anyone ride as fast as me through the bush? Like, fuck no, Johnny, I don't look back when you're chasing me, mate, because there's generally a stock whip. And he literally used to chase me through the bush with a stock whip, trying to get
Did he
me
really?
to try and get me to
Jeez.
fucking ride harder and fuck. Because I could ride,
Yeah.
but I wasn't used to having. I wasn't used to having good bush horses. So them horses we were riding around school, they were decent horses, and we had trails that we would ride through. But when you're chasing fucking cattle that are just plowing through quinine and do not give a fuck, and you're on a horse and you're trying to steer him, you're going to pull him into a fucking tree. If you don't pull him into a tree, he's going to go one way around a tree, and you're going to try and go the other way around the tree, and you're going to fucking meet in the middle, mate. It's just how it is. You got to give him the head and let him go. If you try and put them one way, they'll go the other every fucking time. And so I'm still trying to learn all this, you know. And he was fucking hard. The straw that broke the camel's back. We were building yards one day or fencing or something, and we sat down for smoko, you know, and finished smoko and fucking got up and was walking over to fucking cut another rail down. And he goes, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to cut another rail." And he goes, and he just lost, "You fucking useless prick, we've been fucking sitting beside a stack of rail." And you couldn't see them, they were covered in weeds, and we weren't, I saw, oh yeah, they're all shit and fuck ones, I'll go, you know. And I've had fucking dogs work better than you. And I said, righto, bud, get yourself another fucking dog. I'm out here, and I walked like 10 or 15 mile back to home. Said, but same deal, stupid. Walking up the middle of the fucking road, hear the truck coming, fucking dive into the bushes, hide from him, go back out. Man, he could see me footprints.
Oh, yeah,
He's not fucking stupid.
Yeah, that makes,
But, you know, I got lost once there, proper lost. We were out on the motorbikes, just me and him, and it was right when I had to decide whether I wanted to stay or go.
Yeah.
Right on the 6 month sort of time frame. And I got lost. And proper city kid, I'm, you know, on the motorbike with a backpack on, but it's full of fucking hot soft drink and biscuits. I'm like, oh, well, I'm lost. I'll be right. Fucking feed of biscuits. And I was starting to, as it was getting later and later, I was starting to panic. So I started moving around, and I was getting lost. And proper bushman, I had no idea. Next minute he turned up. Well, he was my fucking favourite person that day. Every other day,
of course.
Because he just knew, man. He was a proper old bushman, man. Like, he could do fucking anything.
Wow.
But just hard. And nasty every now and then. You know, nasty a lot, but that was just how he was brought. You know what I mean? Like,
of course.
so,
He's passing on the way that he was brought up.
But I like I say, even now, as much as I dislike that man, even now I still quote him when I do shit. You know what I mean? I still think about shit that.
Well, he's definitely left some sort of impression on you, mate. On a work ethic side of things, maybe.
Yeah, definitely. He's he definitely, you know, just about everything I know about the bush was
from him.
You know what I mean? Like, I've worked, and I didn't last long ringing because there's fucking no money in it.
Yeah.
And there wasn't then. And you know, there is now, I suppose. A lot of people doing, like, they do a lot of what they call day work and shit, like they do in the States now, where people are just a couple of days here, a couple of days there. They're not actually just going to one joint. And, you know, it's a good life. And if, you know, if I don't even know what they get paid now. I would have no idea what sort of money they're on, but back in the day, it wasn't enough. And, you know, if one thing led to another with going to college, and then you start knocking around a few blokes and they talk you into radio. And
is that what happened?
That's sort of where I started getting into radio. You know, I was coming back to the college, and they were talking me into getting on a few junior bulls, and I was too old for junior bulls then, but we just did a bit of a shonk on the nomination form, and I got on a couple, and I was no good, man. I was never going to be a bull rider. All I wanted to do is get on and kick them. So someone suggested bareback riding, so we had a bit of a go at that, and enjoyed that. And that's where I decided that living out of town, as much as ringing would have been good for the radio side of things, being able to get on all the horses and that, it was the money. So I ended up coming back to town to the meatworks and was a boner at the meatworks in Townsville. That was one of the harder jobs to learn. Like, your hands just go numb. When you first learning to sharpen a knife and bone beef, you got a hook in one hand and a knife in the other, And if the knife's fucking blunt, then you're jerking it with the hook, and both hands go numb, and you're trying to wipe your ass, and it's just fucking terrible. But once you learn, it's a good job, good money, and they tolerate you pulling Fridays and Mondays off to go radioing because they can't get any other fucker to do it. So there's a lot of cowboys that worked at the meatworks in Townsville, and then it led to being able to travel as well.
Yeah,
so,
okay.
So yeah, we the couple of mates I radio with, we decided we'd go to South Australia one year, just after New Year, and to a meatworks down in Narracourt. And we did a bit of travelling around over there and saw a bit of the country, and it's a big place, Australia, eh? When you know,
you don't realise it, do you?
You know, people don't get it. I don't think, you know what I mean. Even, you know, the distance from Townsville to Rocky is, most countries don't have roads that long.
No,
you know what I mean?
that's right.
Just from Townsville to here, so to get over there and see some of the sights over there is just, there's so much to see. It's unbelievable, you know. And even at the meatworks, you know, we turned up. It was second week in January or something. We were fucking freezing cold. It's the middle of fucking summer over there, and all these fucking idiots are swimming and carrying on. We're just fucking sitting out in front of the meatworks at fucking 5:30 in the morning trying to get a start, just freezing. But you know, we ended up being there 3 or 4 months in Narracourt.
Did you really?
Base. Yeah, it was good. We could get plenty of work, and it was a good base. You know, we could get over to Melbourne and into Victoria for a few shows, but most of them were over in South Australia. So, and I'm terrible with geography, but you know, Wilmington, sort of around that area. We were coming back from one radio. I can't remember where it was, and I can't remember the name of the town we come to. It was a bigger town. Anyway, we've driving through town. Typical cowboys. We looking for a bit of left-handed tobacco, you know. See this likely-looking suspect on the side of the road. So we just fucking wheel over and pull him up and go, hey, you know, we can get a bit of, you know, left-handed. And he's, oh, no, but there's a fucking bike. There's a music show on out of town. We go, all right, we'll go out and have a look at that. So get direction. We get out there and fucking coppers everywhere. There was probably...
Oh, really?
Oh, just...
They knew what it was?
Cars and vans and...
Yeah.
Bikes, and they're all there, and we're like, we sort of pulled up, and they said, no, you're mate, off you go, fucking, we're here for late. I'm like, so we drive in, and turns out it's Hell's Angels have got a big music show, sand drags, fucking the whole show. So we're fucking, this is good. So we get up and we're looking at, first things first, let's see if we can score some weed. And so we're walking in the vendors, and there's bloke there selling pipes and shit, you know what I mean? Like, we're looking at them and sort of all, how do you fucking just bunging on someone? You know what I mean? Like,
how do you break that conversation?
How do you bring that conversation up when it's fucking illegal, you know what I mean? But you're at a Hell's Angels bike show,
Yeah, you
so
think
you think
pretty
there's
safe.
probably going to be a bit of it anyway. So, mate, don't suppose you fucking got anything to go with them pipes. And he literally just fucking bent down, out from under the table, pulled out this fucking box like this, and he goes, what do you want? Fucking, and we're like, fucking kids in the candy store, you know? So we're all, and we'd won some money that weekend, so straight up, we'll have a bit of that and we'll have one of those. And so we sat down on the hill and fucking got blazed, and then we could hear this fucking, the motorbikes and that. So we wandered down to where the sand drags are and sort of shuffle through the crowd and fucking perch up in a good spot, sort of right near the start line. You know, it's fucking awesome. You could see them like, just wicked, like nitro sand drags. If you've never,
Oh, wow.
just
I'd love
fucking-
to go and see that, mate. That'd be sick.
And I think about it now, and I appreciate it more now than I did then.
Yeah.
Because it was just, we were just down, it was just what was fucking going on.
What was going on,
We
yeah.
just come back from the radio and fucking wanted some weed and fucking drove in there, and now we're fucking in. So anyway, we're standing there, and back in them days, I didn't have fuck all tattoos. I had one on my back, and that was it, nothing visible. And so we're all in there fucking, you know, our plaid shirts and fucking Wrangler jeans and shiny boots and fucking big hats. And there's a fellow on the commentator, funny bastard, he was fucking gigging all these fucking clowns in the crowd, fucking in the fucking in the back area with the bikes and shit, you know. And we've got, there's fucking big bikies all around it, fucking tattoos and leather and fucking shit and all these bikes, and we didn't think nothing of it. We were fucking best, and then we twigged, like, I think this fella's fucking talking to us. We've looked around, oh, yeah, we might actually be in the fucking pits here, boys. He might be fucking, as it was, fucking, one of the fellas fucking got to yarning with us and they had a bit of a boxing fucking show going on. And one fella was always keen for a fucking fight, so he jumped in and.
Did he?
It took about a wild night then after. It was just like, yeah, you know, like,
I love that.
You know, so you go to radio and generally cowboys and footballers never really saw eye to eye. Or it wasn't so much, it was generally.
It was like the thing.
It's just how it was. You'd turn up and, freaking cowboy slept with my girlfriend last radio, so I'm going to go and fucking bail a cowboy. And just whether it was a footballer or whatever, like you go to a new town every time and there's always a local that wants to, you root cows or you fucking, whatever, mate. Yep, good on you. But it, it was there was some wild shows. Like,
I love that sort of stuff. But and like, you know, when it's like those spontaneous things too, like you had no intentions of going there from the start. It was just this random conversation you had with someone that led you to there, and then you ended up having a great night. It was,
and I can't remember the name of the band, but all I can remember is is it More Wine, Waiter, Please?
More Wine, Waiter, Please.
Is what is part of the chorus or something.
I'll Google it.
I don't even know. It was heavy, whatever it was.
Was it?
But them girls that hang around motorcycle men, they know how to have a fucking good time.
By the Poor.
There you go. That was it, the Poor.
Yeah, More Wine, Waiter, Please.
Yeah, it is some heavy shit. But I tell you.
That's awesome.
You fucking...
Oh, and it was by the Poor featuring Dave Gleason and Angry Anderson.
Yeah.
Angry Anderson was there.
Yeah.
That's mad.
Yeah, it was... and like I say, them girls that like fellas on motorbikes, use fucking cowgirls or use buckle bunnies that don't actually participate in the radios, but you want to hang around, you need to take a leaf out of them fucking bikey girls' books because they don't fuck around when they party, mate. Them girls know how to party.
That's
and
it.
They are confident with their bodies. That's all I'll say. They
I love it.
They just
Love
fun.
it.
Just a good time. There was
the thing is, mate, like you rarely would see another night like that these days. Like
no, you can't. They can't do it.
No, that's it. We'll see some of the best days back. Some of the best nights back here in town was some of the motorcycle club nights where they'd have the the
drags or the burnouts or something.
Yeah. Or they'd have like a seafood night at the clubhouse.
No one ever fucks around.
No. It was the most safest place to go to.
Fuck around and find out, mate.
Yeah.
That's where that saying come from. Is fucking bikies gigs, mate. You go in there. So when they built Sun Metals in Townsville, I was cutting concrete at that stage, and a few fellas from the Odin's Warriors were the bosses there, like supervisors and shit. And they'd tell everybody, fucking Friday afternoons, come to the clubhouse. And you go to the clubhouse, man, and they were the best blokes. So like just normal people. Whereas I didn't get tattoos till later, like lots of tattoos until later in life.
Yep.
And I used to look at a lot of them and go, fucking, these fuckers are scary, eh? And even my daughter says to me, but you're scary, Dad. And I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like a marshmallow. But I get it. People see...
Yeah.
They see all that. It's
judging the book by the character.
And it's, and they go, and it's older people that don't like it. But guess what? It's not going to be that for very much longer.
No, it's not. It's on the outer, isn't it?
Everywhere. Now you walk around and there's girls, you're like, how old are you? Like 19, and they're just fucking from the throat to the toes. Just
covered.
And it's like... Yeah, you've had a bit on in the last fucking 12 months if you've only been doing it since you're 18.
That's right.
I get that there's some people that'll tattoo younger people.
Oh, look, I mean, that in itself is like more culturally acceptable. Like it's more acceptable now that you thank you. You go to somewhere like JB Hi-Fi, shout out to them. Like they love it. They love it.
Yeah.
But like that old school clubs where they had that bikey orientation, like they were scary looking dudes, but they backed it too. Like they were scary because they had a reputation for being scary. Like that's what they did. They did. You fucked around, you found it out.
Yeah, exactly right. And the only dealings I had with them as a kid was the Renegades were the locals in Townsville for a long time, and they had a house right next door to my nan's.
Oh, did they?
And I remember Nan passing away, and I was only young then, but they're nothing but good blokes.
Yeah, that's right. They normally are, mate.
Yeah, exactly.
They normally are. They're really good blokes.
And that's what I mean. They just like to have a good time, and they don't particularly like the police.
No, that's
but
it.
other than that, they're just like me. They're just normal, everyday, normal dudes. And it's like, and until you know, like when I was younger, I judged a book by its cover a lot more.
I think a lot of people did, but
than I do now.
I think it's a part of maturing and getting older, mate.
And as you get to learn a bit more and see a bit more of the country, and you know, like even I did a bit of work at a solar farm a few years ago building it. And this one young fella had a gold tooth. Young Tongan fella. And I'm like, fucking, what's the gold tooth, bud? Well, his parents knock his fucking tooth out before he fucking moves out of home. Not knock it out, they chip a bit of it out apparently.
Yeah.
And give him fucking gold so that it's part of their culture with that. So they give him fucking gold, melt it down, make it and put a part of his tooth, and it's wealth to take with him.
Oh yeah, okay,
it's part of a
tradition.
It's like, yeah, right. Well, yep, that's fucking different. Chipping your fucking teeth out to put gold in there, but that's what they do. That's,
of course, definitely.
It's part of their culture. So, you know, as you know.
Well, we don't really have a tradition or
that's what I mean. You know, we don't.
So you see that, you think it's something different, like it's not normal almost. You like think it's a bit different. Did you continue doing your meat works and stuff like that?
Yeah. So we come back we went from South Australia over to Wagga Wagga, stayed with a couple of cowboys there, and just we were broke ass cowboys, man. We were only making enough to get by. I was no radio legend by any means, man. I'd win a few here and there. I did enough to win a bit of money and bum around for a lot of years. I never won. And back then, you know, now just about every bull ride or show you go to is giving buckles away. Once upon a time, you got a buckle at the end of the year, or you got it at Mount Isa Radio or some big radio like that. Like now. And I'm not taking it away from anybody that's got one. It's probably a bit of jealousy on my sake that I wasn't fucking good enough to win one.
Yeah.
But I had a lot of fun. Rode a lot of bareback horses. Had a lot of fun with some mates. Saw a lot of the country. So when we come back to Wagga Wagga, we stayed there for a couple of weeks and did a couple of radios there and got on some practice horses and some bulls and shit. And then we needed a fucking job, and someone put us onto this racehorse trainer. And I don't even know where it was, man. New South Wales, somewhere near Wybong. But this fella, I since find out he's been on fucking Landline, and he's a legend with land regeneration. I can't remember his name, but they all thought he was fucking queer when he was doing it 30 years ago. But now he's the godfather of natural revegetation. So where creeks used to run, he lets them do that rather than where we've made them run. Anyway, we were working for him. And his philosophy on racehorses was a bit different too. He didn't want fucking 2-year-olds.
Yeah.
He wanted 6, 7, 8, 9-year-olds. Yeah, so he was running 150, 160 stallions.
Jeez.
All in the same fucking paddock.
Wow.
That would run as groups of 5 or 6.
Yep.
Just kick the shit. They were fucking covered in cuts, and but they'd work out who was the boss. So he needed someone to exercise them. So he wanted, rather than running them as young, he wanted to keep them as stayers, so horses that you could get probably 5 or 6 years of racing out of.
Oh, yeah, okay.
So he was working on starting them later, letting them mature, because horses are still growing to their 5, 6 or 7. Yeah. So he was letting them mature properly, or wanting to, and then. So anyway, he wanted us to exercise these horses, so that's all good. We get him in and ride them around and that. And in the end, so after about 2 days, he'd give us a house to stay in, and he went away, had to go to Sydney or Canberra or somewhere. And we thought, right, this is our chance. We'll fucking put some bareback riggings and saddle bronc saddles on these fuckers, and we'll just work them all at once. We'll just buck one, and as we buck one, the other fucking 40 will gallop around this big arena we're in. So we were doing that for a few days and ate all the fucking apples off his apple tree and fucking got cold one night. So we never knew how a fireplace worked. So we just, all we could find was old stallion journals, old breed register journals. Oh, fuck me, I hope he never went looking for them, because we burnt every one of them until the fucking, apparently chimneys clog up.
I didn't know that.
When they fucking clog up, they fill the house full of smoke.
Oh, of course, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, so we were burning them until that happened, then we stopped. And then we went, fuck, righto, we fucked it here, boys, let's go. So we just fucking lit out never to be fucking seen again.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You did a full exit stage
full
left.
fucking proper run. And we've been there
fucking go.
4 or 5 days, 6 or 7. We hadn't been there quite a week, I don't think, but we're just fucking terrible. We'd start a job and you'd get sick of it and you wouldn't even tell them you quit. You
just fucking go.
Just walk out without any pay. Fucking bash it up your ass, mate. I can go and sit at home and do nothing and borrow some money off someone to get next week's noms. They fuck work, you know what I mean? Like just, and then we did that and then we come back to Townsville and one of the mates I was travelling with, he come from property, so he had 70,000 acres to go back to and he went back to that and I sort of bummed around in the caravan park picking rock melons and hanging sort of with him for a bit and trying to still live the dream of radio, and then I end up back in town at the meatworks and met up with a Sheila, and that was sort of getting close to the end of the radio, you know. So that was probably
how old you been roughly around there, you reckon?
So 93, what's that, 21, 22, sort of probably 90, 96, 97 would have been the last years I radioed, I suppose. I did at a casino finals radio at Townsville. I made the finals for that 2 years.
Yeah.
But I'm in saying that, you know, like you pretty much were guaranteed if you rode a few horses in the year, there wasn't a lot of bareback riders. Still not a lot of bareback riders, which is a shame. We're nothing like America. They're falling over themselves over there. But over here, I was at Mareeba on the weekend. There was 5 bareback riders and I think there was $6,000 up.
Unbelievable.
Yeah, good money.
Good money now,
It's good money now. Back then it was, but they're not all like Mareeba, you know. They're still riding for $500 or $600, $800, which is compared to the bull rides, and you talk to a bull rider and say, you're going to get on the bareback or something, like, no, mate, you're fucked in there. It's like, well, why aren't the bareback riders getting more money?
Yeah.
There's not enough of them for starters. Bulls are more entertaining, I suppose, for the crowd, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas bareback riding is a lot like you talk to people there, you're off your head, mate, I'm not getting on a bareback horse. But so I enjoyed it, but I probably, I think about it now and see some of the shit they're doing now and it's going, well, if I had to exercise a bit more and maybe not have partied so hard and you know what I mean? Like
it's all a part of growing up and maturing, mate.
It is, and I'm way past it now, but I love watching it and I just fucking frothed it. Like we were up, like I say, we were at Mareeba on the weekend and I spent my whole weekend just sitting out. I wasn't allowed in the chutes area because I wasn't riding or nothing, but I just sit out the back and just watching all these young fellas getting around doing their thing. And it's like, years fuckers don't know how good you got it, man. Like, and then you talk to some of them and some of them are proper having a chop, you know what I mean? They're doing it properly. They're fucking, there was one fellow I saw on another podcast, he was up there and I made sure I run into him and he's doing it right. He's fucking healthy and keeps fit, and he's doing a great job. Just to watch him I fucking love that shit.
Yeah, still a big fan.
Still a big fan, and I was out of it for a lot of years. Watching from the side, sort of thing. The better the phones, the technology you got. The more,
of course,
the more you can follow along without actually having to.
No, you got to have a passion for something too. Like you got to. I think so.
So we got friends so Jared's parents, they run the mini bulls.
Yep.
Which is cool as shit, to see little kids getting on the little bull, starting them from that. It's just you got to take my hat off to them. I don't know if I could do the miles they do, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That like, well, they were at Mareeba on the weekend and had to drive back to Prossie and didn't leave Mareeba till 5 or 6 o'clock. So that's 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning.
Mate, it's crazy. I was at the PBR that went the last one they had here in Rocky, and it must have been the week after I had Jared on the podcast. But I was sitting there listening to some of the blokes, and they were carting some of the bulls up for the rodeo, and one of them said that they had travelled 14, 16 hours one way to deliver the bulls, and then they were heading back the very next morning for another 20-hour round trip or something. Like I was just sitting there going, holy shit.
Yeah, it's crazy.
The dedication just to travel some bulls for one comp. Like I was impressed. And also I was a bit like, holy shit, you guys are keen.
Well, Danny takes them to Laura.
Isn't that crazy?
From fucking Proserpine. You know what I mean? Like they love that shit, man. And they've been doing it their whole lives. Them, all them boys grew up doing that, and so or Jay, they've got a few boys, but Jay not getting on him so much, but he's a good bull rider, and Jetty had a bit of a go, but he's going to be a pilot, and
nice.
Yeah, and young Kai, well, he's I remember the first time we went down to Bow Desert to visit him, Kai was fucking 2 or 3, and there was a bull riding on at must have been the Gold Coast Convention Centre or something, and fucking Kai's, we've gone in with them, and Kai's dragged a gear bag in, you know what I mean? He's dragged a gear bag in, bull rope bell. We're sitting in the grandstands, and he's sitting up in the grandstands, fucking bucking bulls and playing them. And to watch him go from there to riding potties to steers to junior bulls to now, he just recently won the Open Bull Ride in Mareeba on the weekend. It's
unreal.
They just, and Danny's been doing everything with him, right, making him, not letting him rush into it, because a lot of young fellas can, like we were doing back in the day, I was riding, if I could ride a novice bareback horse and an open bareback horse at a radio, I'd nominate for both.
Yeah.
Whereas I should have just been getting on novice horses and trying to learn, but because you just couldn't get on them.
Yeah, of course.
You'd nominate for both. So you're getting on shit that's way too good for you, which is going to hurt you. Yeah. Whereas, Kai is going to go a long way, that kid.
Did you get much injuries yourself from when you're?
I was pretty lucky. So, I got wrecked knees, and I did Proserpine radio. It was the open bareback ride, and I got hung up.
Ooh.
And the rigging slipped. So I don't know if you've ever seen a bareback rigging, but it looks a lot like a suitcase handle. You've got a leather glove on, and you pretty much jam your hand in there. These days, they've got like a chock at the back, so when they stand their hand up, it's the roll in the glove, the swell in the glove stops you from pulling your hand out. So no matter what you do, you ain't pulling your hand out. You physically got to open your hand and drop your shoulder to get your hand out.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, I've gone off. So I was left-handed. I went off on the right side, which is the wrong side, which is straight away rolled me wrist over. And then the riggings slowly slid down the horse's guts and ended up underneath the horse. So I think I did 3 laps of Proserpine radio, getting dragged under this fucking and
far out.
Knee blew up, fucking. But you never go to the doctor; you just put up with it.
Yeah, of course.
Hope it's good for the next weekend. But I was lucky. And you bust your hand up a bit.
Of course, it was
tearing skin and shit off. But no, I was pretty lucky, and I only radioed for proper solid for couple of years.
Did you?
At best, and then I was sort of half farting about with, you know what I mean? I did. Yeah. I was probably did 5 or 6 full seasons, but that's only back then it might have been 15 or 20 radios a year. You know what I mean? And then we went away. So 2 years I went to South Australia one year, and then I went away the next year with a different mob of fellas. Yeah. But I wasn't doing anything like what the pros and that, we did a few pro shows and some bushy shows up our way, but I was by no means a world beater. I was just having fun. And I was, I was never going to be a world champion. I don't think I was ever thought I wanted to be a world champion. Sure. I was just doing it because I enjoyed doing it.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
It was never, I never thought, I can make a living doing this.
Yeah, you're just having fun doing it.
Just having fun as a young fella.
Yeah.
And then,
well, at least you weren't giving yourself any expectations or anything, mate. You're just having fun with it, going with the flow.
And
so that could do some people in if if it wasn't meeting to their expectations, that can psychologically fuck someone.
Yeah. And then that's where I met me daughter's mother, and then the kids started, once they
and was that in part why you sort of had to get, you gave it away,
well,
was it?
So I was then having to work full time.
Yeah.
So I hadn't worked full time for a long time. Like Meatworks was seasonal. Yeah. And so it was now time to start contributing to society, and so daughter was born 1997. Yep. And that's when my whole world changed, and I was still, still thinking about myself a little bit, but she was my world. I'd come home from work and pretty much give me the baby, and I'd wash her and bath her and bottle her, and put her
nice.
to bed, and then get her up at 11 o'clock at night and give her a final bottle, and say, shower every night with her, and then at 4 years old, we parted ways, and
Yep.
so I started doing the single dad thing, which can really fuck with your head. You think you're having a bad time, and then you lose your whole world. You know what I mean?
Yeah, of course.
Not only was I try and tell myself I didn't miss the ex going, but I probably did a bit. But it was more the daughter. It was more being able to see her every day, and then
have the luxury of that.
Having the luxury, and that's exactly right. That's what a lot of. It is a luxury because it can be taken away from you. So
quick.
Especially when you're the father, you know what I
Yes.
mean? And I'm not woman bashing or anything like that by any means, but when it comes to people splitting up and kids, not enough people think about the kids first.
Yeah, of course.
They think about themselves, and it's either been someone's played around and they're hating each other, or they've just gradually grown apart and mutually, but you still miss, you know what I mean?
Of course. Even if it's on amicable terms, it's still a completely different lifestyle that you've got to adjust to, and you don't have that luxury of coming home every night and seeing your child. There's a chance that it's going to be at the other parent's place, and that you've got to share this custody and share this like it might be week on, week off, whatever the case may be. Like that whole adjustment, that's a hard gig to play with. Like
it is.
That would be tough for people.
It is, yeah. So
very tough.
So I was getting around pretty much whenever I wanted it, pretty much for most of the time. It was sort of every sort of second weekend, or it turned out being nearly every weekend, probably 3 weekends out of 4, and then sort of school hours. Pretty amicable for the start, and then it gets nasty. You know what I mean?
Of course, there's always something that comes out.
Yeah, like they were still living in Townsville at that stage, so it was pretty good. And then as soon as you meet someone else, so when I met my now wife, things get carted between houses, and kids being kids, they're not telling stories. They're just, how was your week? Blah.
Yeah.
They fucking blurt it out to whoever's,
Yeah, of course, that's right. And then it brings out
other things, and then the shit starts, And I'm not. It's I'm not throwing stones or anything. But
no.
The kids don't. Some kids see more than they need to see.
Yes.
And that some kids are told more than they should be told.
Yes, that's right.
And it shouldn't be their burden. They shouldn't be. When you've split up and it's between mum and dad, the kids don't need to know what's going on.
Of course, I totally agree.
Unfortunately, my daughter knew more than she probably needed to know.
And it's difficult on the child.
It is.
It's hard on the child.
It is, because they don't understand. So, and I won't go into it too much.
No, that's
but
okay.
When Rhiannon was 10, her mother had met a new man. He's a good bloke.
Mm-hmm.
Treats my daughter well. That's all I ever asked for. And they moved. They were moving to Brisbane. He'd got a job promotion.
Yeah.
And I'm like, well, right, so we got to do something about it. So I went and seen a solicitor.
Yeah.
Because we'd had I was paying maintenance. So I went and saw a solicitor and said, what can I do to make sure that my daughter's going to come home to me, that I've got some right to get her home to see me on holidays. I don't want to be arguing all the time. Not saying that I was going to have to argue, but I just wanted something in paper, because I had from the moment we divorced, there was nothing written down about kids. So I just wanted something for that.
Yeah.
And that was expensive, and she was told, Rhiannon was told more than she needed to know. And it became my fault.
Yes.
Why are you trying to keep me from going with mum? Oh, you don't understand, darling. That's not what I'm trying to do. You 100% are going with your mother.
Yeah.
I'm not the solicitor. My solicitor said this is how we're going to do it.
Yeah.
So she was privy to some of that information. And as a 10-year-old, when your mother gets served by a sheriff, because that's how they fucking do it.
Yeah.
And they get served, and then she's in tears because her mother's in tears because she's been served, thinking.
And
I'm and that's not what I wasn't trying to upset her mother. All I wanted to make sure was that my daughter, that I had a right to have my daughter come home to me. So anyway, we started out with, you're staying with me and your mum can move away too. And that was never how we wanted. We just wanted to make sure that she could come home on school holidays and it wasn't all going to be financially on my behalf, you know?
Yes.
Because I was about to start be paying a lot of money in maintenance.
Mm-hmm.
And you go to any smoko room and mention maintenance and the fucking joint light up, mate. The pain some blokes are going through that don't even get to see their kids.
Yes,
of course. The head noise they must have, and I had plenty of it, man. Every time I talked to the maintenance,
mate, I couldn't imagine what that would have been like. Mate, that would have been, oh God, that would have been stressful.
It's just, so not only are you having, you've just lost your partner and now your child's getting taken away from you, but now you've got the government saying, guess what, brother? Now the hurt's really going to start. Not only do you have to still pay all your bills, and if you meet a new woman, provide for her and any kids she's got and any kids you've got, but now you've got to provide for your ex, and it goes on your wages. So,
which is the biggest rort
it is
in the world.
It needs to be capped. I got no issue with, don't get me wrong. I will pay maintenance if I've got kids and I have to.
I think capped is a good way to do it.
There needs to be. So why if I'm earning $50,000, does it cost me $6,000 a year in maintenance to raise a kid? But if I'm earning $100,000, all of a sudden it now costs $10,000 to raise that same child.
Yeah.
And there's got to be a cap somewhere because, say for instance, my ex-wife got pregnant to a new husband. She stopped work. Her wages went down. Guess whose maintenance went up?
Yeah.
Mine. So now I'm paying for his kids to my ex-wife?
Yeah, that's
because that's the way
argument.
it seems.
Yeah,
and it's not. That's not the way the government wants you to think it is, but that's 100% is what's happening, mate. She's not working because she's pregnant to her new husband.
Yeah.
But my maintenance goes up because she can't work because it goes on mine and her wage. Doesn't go on. She's now married with a new husband and that's, mate, a lot of blokes are living that same pain. I know one fellow I work with at Pacific National, he got to saw his child for 2 weeks, I think it was, and then she disappeared. And he was paying nearly $2,000 a month and had never seen his kid and his kid was 7 years old.
That's hard, isn't it?
Oh, it's just horror story after horror story after horror story, you know. And until the shoe's on the other foot, so the moment that when COVID happened, work got a little bit slack, and I thought, oh shit, you know, I'm going to have to charge. So you've got to estimate what you can estimate what your wages are going to be to work your maintenance out. So I rang him and said, look, I'm going to have a fair bit of a pay drop, and it changed, and not with my daughter's mother, with my son's mother, it changed where now she was earning, and I was getting him week on, week off, and I still had to pay.
Yeah.
And it flipped where she had to pay me, and I rang Child Service and said, look, I'm not interested in her paying me any money. And they go, well, what do you mean? And I said, well, I got him 50% of the time. I'll pay for him when he's with me.
Yeah.
And I don't expect her to pay me any money while he's with me because I'll
look after it.
But so they couldn't be any nicer to me. As soon as I was the one receiving the money,
they're
my best friends. But when it's the shoe on the other foot, they do not give a fuck. It's like job interview is, do you hate men that have had kids and now split up with the mothers? Yeah, I do. Good, you're employed. Yeah. It's like, you know what I mean? It's not even hate men. Do you hate the person that doesn't have the kid the majority of the time and earns less money?
Yeah.
Well, if you do, then bingo, you can go and it's just wrong. And
well, there's a big point that you raised, which is actually a really good point, is that naturally in a situation, whether you're male or female, doesn't matter. But if you're having to pay maintenance, and like you said, you know, the threshold's $50,000 to start with, well, naturally you're going to have to try and earn more money to cover the cost of the money that you're expected to pay. Then you start earning more money, then they go, well, hang on a minute, Now you're earning this much amount of money. You got to pay this much. So now you got to try and earn more to cover the original amount that you started with.
And the way they fucking structure
it's bullshit.
the way they structure it, they keep you in fucking debt all the time to them. So for the last, I don't know, fucking at least 16 years I've been with my wife, I have not received one fucking tax return because they generate your bill on the 14th, but make you pay it on the 7th.
Yeah.
So you're in fucking debt to them all the time.
Yeah.
And
that just frustrates me when you think about it. Like you literally start off at the 50, so you earn 70 to cover that initial 50. Then they go, okay, well now you're earning 70. Now you got to pay worth the 70.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh shit, so now I'm going to have to work more OT to cover that 70. You earn 80. Now they're going to judge it on 80.
And then you ask them, well, why does it keep? Oh, because if you're a family, you would spend that extra money. This is the bit you're not understanding. She's got a new family. I've got a new fucking family. I'm trying to provide for my family. Like, so, you know, and I won't go too far on it, but my wife's got 2 kids and she didn't collect maintenance from their father.
Yeah.
And that was where we would used to bicker.
Yeah.
Because she'd be lifting off about what I was paying and I'd be saying, well, fucking old Bunge ain't paying any. But she
it's so hard, isn't it?
They're my fucking kids, I'll provide for them. And I'm like, well, you're my missus now. I'll fucking provide for your kids as well. Fuck him, he can fuck off. But understand that this one over here is still wanting her bit of Benny. You know what I mean?
Of course.
She's still wanting a check. She's still wanting that, whatever it is, every month. That's just easy money.
Yeah.
And you know, and you get a bit bitter about it. But at the end of the day, as long as my daughter had what she fucking wanted and she was never ringing me, whinging, wanting anything.
Yeah.
Wanting extra money, so she was obviously getting everything she needed there. And when she'd come home, you know, but it's one of them things that if you don't have kids or haven't had kids, or you're not, the boys at work don't talk about it. People don't know. All they see is some fucking lunatic that's driven into a fucking dam with 3 of his kids, or he's set his fucking missus on fire. I do not condone that shit at all, mate. Them fellas need to fuck right off.
Yeah.
But I get how they can get there. I get how they're twisted,
definitely.
like their brain can go, this bitch. How do I get it? Like all that, like, how do I get at her? How do I get at her?
Yeah.
I know how to fucking get at her. I'll take her kids away.
Yeah, that's what happens.
Murder, suicide. But guess what, bud? How about you do the suicide first?
Yeah, that's right.
And then once you've killed yourself, if you still want to kill your kids after that, have at it, bud. But
definitely. I mean, I don't get me wrong, mate. There's some people that are just like sick and twisted, and like they've probably just done it out of their own spite. Like it had nothing to do with that. Like we're not talking about that. We're just talking about literally the fact that there's these poor blokes that go through those exact things and they get to a point where they just snap. Yeah. And they do something unthinkable, something that would be completely out of character for them, do something that you would never expect them to do. Don't get me wrong, do not condone it at all. There are those people that are just fucking psychos, and like they're some weird ones, and they probably shouldn't have been born. But you know, it's a really hard thing, and it's a subject it's a really sensitive subject. You know,
it is,
and it's hard to sort of and also
like there's a follow up on the fucking Sydney Harbour Bridge or somewhere the other year, wasn't there? Bloke climbed up there a couple of years ago and had they still don't fucking talk about it.
No, that's right. Yeah,
and that's like,
I think nowadays
so men are supposed to be.
That's the thing they're supposed to be portrayed.
And my generation, man, there was none of this talking about head noise and fucking how you going, brother. It's like, let's suck some fucking piss and forget about the shit that's going on. Let's get that fucking munted that we can't, like that song, your fucking best nights are the nights you can't remember.
Yeah, that's
right. I mean, let's just forget it. And that and that leads me into where I'm going with my whole show is the nights you've wasted on the piss is just fucking unbelievable. Like,
and they accumulate pretty quick.
Oh, and you don't think about it. You get into a rut. Like, you know, I drove trucks for a long time, and when my daughter was young, when her mother first left when she was 4 years old, I'd get it on the weekends, and I'd work all week. I'd be Townsville to Cairns, whatever, running freight to Cairns and bringing Arnie's back to Townsville. And then on the weekends, we'd do changeovers. So they'd load hides out of the meatworks in Townsville, and we'd run them down to Rocky and change over with a Brisbane, go back. So I was doing that Saturday night. yeah, anyone that knows Townsville to Rocky and how a logbook works, you can't do it in 12 hours.
Yeah.
So it probably doesn't matter now because I don't drive trucks anymore and I haven't got a logbook, but we used to turn the logbook off at Mackay. And most of these weekends I had my daughter with me, so it'd be Saturday night. So we'd leave Towns about 8 o'clock Saturday night, turn up down here about 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. And generally I'd get in the bunk, get an hour's kip and then we'd go back. And generally when I woke up, or when I would go to get into bed, that would be the same time that my daughter would decide to wake up.
Yeah, okay.
Because she'd be in the bunk all night.
In the bunk, yeah.
So she'd wake up and fucking I'd lock all the doors, pull all the curtains and set her up with colouring books and food and takes, and she was all good. And I remember coming back one trip and there was a copper on the side of the road and I was smart mouth on the two-way, just fucking idiot. And he's got this shield pulled over on the side of the road and someone said, oh, fucking Ray, beware of the cop. And I said, he's probably fucking getting a blowjob to waiver the fucking fine, And then I hear, coming to blow you shortly. And I'm like,
oh, no.
What the fuck?
Oh, no.
And thought just someone being a fuckhead on the two-way, And we were probably 10 or 15 minutes out of Prossie. And as I've rolled into Proserpine, I've looked in the mirror and fucking
oh, no.
blue and red lights. Rhiannon needed to go to the toilet, so I sort of pulled over out the front of the Caltex there and I've got out of the truck and walked straight round the front, round to the passenger side, opened the door, and I'm standing there like that, acting dumb like I didn't know the copper was there. And as I've lifted my daughter out, oh, hey, how you going, mate? He goes, logbook and licence. I said, 1 sec, mate, my daughter needs to go to the toilet. He goes, logbook and licence. I said, mate, my daughter needs to go to the toilet. So we took a toilet, come back, giving me logbook and licence. And as I've handed it over, I've gone, oh, fuck. You didn't turn it back on when you left Mackay.
Oh, no.
Yeah, so I'm thinking, fucking, here we go, He's fucking got me for mouthing off at him. And he didn't mention nothing about mouthing off at him, And he comes back around the side after a couple of minutes. I'm like, yeah, here we fucking go. And he goes, there you go, mate, you're right to go. I'm like, cheers, bud. And I'm like, just shaking my head going, why the fuck would, they don't know. They don't understand a logbook.
Yeah.
Coppers, that's not their job.
Okay, yeah.
Lucky for me, most of them don't know. So he would have been just a local fella out doing a bit of radar.
Okay.
So if it had been traffic cop, he probably would have fucked me a bit harder than what old mate did, just holding me up. But just
it was a bit of maybe more of a bit of an intimidation. I know it was you.
And so when I drove out, these young fellas fucking drove out behind me in a car, and they called me up down the road to get around me, and I said, "You're a good mate, come round." And they said, oh, fucking, was that you mouthing off at the copper about the blowjob? And I said, yeah, it was. They go, fucking your game. I said, the cunts don't listen to you, mate. There could be a fucking lunatic on the road and you could fucking know that a copper's gone past you not 5 minutes before or not long ago. You try and call them up. They will not fucking answer you on 40, but when they want to fucking talk to you, all of a sudden they can fucking talk on Channel 40. That's what I said to old mate. I said, the fucking fat cunt's probably listening to me now, mate. He's probably sitting in the fucking weeds, pulling himself over, talking to a fucking real truck driver, I'm saying this on the two-way, knowing full well.
That he's probably hearing it.
Yeah, he's probably hearing it. What's he going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do, mate?
Yeah, that's right.
The truck drivers, man, I got... I don't know how I did it for so long without...
How long did you do it?
20 plus years.
Yeah, right.
20,
so that was...
20 enough. I've spent enough time sleeping in the truck and I didn't, I'm no fucking truckwit or anything like that. I enjoyed it. I didn't like the big long distance. They sent me to Sydney markets once and it was only once. It's like, that's fucking too far away from home, brother. At least I know... If I got to get home, I can fucking get home from Brisbane in one hit, mate. I can leave and be in Townsville in the same fucking without getting out of the truck,
that's fair
in a bottle, whatever you do. But I did a lot of Townsville, Brisbane, a lot of Bruce Highway, too much fucking Bruce, all Bruce Highway. Pretty much. A little bit of Western stuff, but not a lot of road train stuff. Right at the end, I did a little bit around town in a road train and then fucking slipped into a office Johnny job for a bit. And
oh, did you? Yeah.
Yeah, and then got poached by a mate doing structural steel deliveries and shit, but same deal, bit of truck driving and then into the office.
Yeah.
But I loved it. nothing better than sleeping in a truck. I used to get a good sleep in a truck, you know. Yeah, but we were fucking big hours, you know, long hours, and just, you know, they'd send me to Brisbane on a Wednesday night from Townsville, knowing I had to be back in Townsville by 2 o'clock Friday afternoon to pick my daughter up.
Yeah.
There's no sleep going on there, man.
You
8 o'clock, I'd be in Brisbane just after lunch, unload the hides out the wharf there, over to the depot, drop 2 empty trailers, pick 2 Farnhams, and be gone from Brisbane by 6 or 7 o'clock Thursday night, and just whoosh you back to Townsville home by just after lunch. No sleep. They let me do that for 6 weeks.
Wow.
6 weeks in a row they did that to me.
Yeah, wow.
Before they pulled me up and said, you can't keep going down and back in one go, mate, with no sleep. I said, well, you fuckers send me on a Wednesday. That's what I'll be doing.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
So they stopped sending me on a Wednesday.
They would.
And that was, you know, that was back in the day when you could
get away with it.
Yeah, Scalies weren't about, man. They didn't have point-to-point cameras everywhere.
Yeah.
And there was no putting kilometres in your book. So now you got to put fucking kilometres in your book every time you start your book. You got to put the start of your kilometres. Back then you didn't, man. So you could just fucking... You run 2 logbooks, man. The amount of logbooks that fell off my fucking fuel tank is unbelievable. You know what I mean? Like, no, officer, I lost that one. I said, what's that bit of paper? Yeah, I lost my logbook. Well, I fucking fell off the fuel tank. or dropped it in the oil tank. I've never seen an oil tank that's got a fucking hole on it the size of a basketball, drop a logbook through, but that's the excuse, man.
Yeah, of course.
I don't know anybody who fills their logbook out on the side of the fuel tank. Most of them, it's on the fucking steering wheel. So how you drop it?
Just one of those things, mate. Just, you wouldn't read about it.
But
wouldn't read about it.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. And, you know, I take my hat off to the fellas that I got a mate that still does it now, and he pulls fucking triples of sulfuric acid up to the territory and shit.
Wow.
I poached him from another mob. Shout out to her because she fucking hates me for it. She don't listen to these and she won't know who she is.
Yeah, that's right.
Well, she might if she knows who I'm talking about, but I'm not going to drop his name.
It's going to be a personal one anyway.
Yeah, fuck
a little
her.
personal jab.
Yeah, a little personal jab for her. But I still shape. He's fucking. He was my boss.
Was he?
So when I started truck driving, it was probably 2000, I suppose, maybe a little bit before. I'd had a truck license forever. Mm-hmm. But never driven a road ranger gearbox.
Yeah, okay.
And he put me in a body truck, an FL80, Freightliner FL80, flat top body truck. We drove around the block. I fucking ground every gear, bunny hopped that fucker all the way around and just shook me and went, fuck, you're up, bud, I'll go. And he goes, no, mate, come in tomorrow. He said, you'll be right. He said, I'll give you 8 hours and that, drive around town. He said, you'll be driving like a fucking pro by the end of the day. And he was right. By the end of the day, man, and he said, you're trying to use the clutch. He said, don't use the fucking clutch, bud.
Yeah.
In a road ranger, you can double clutch them, and fucking I made myself learn. But he said, don't use the clutch, bud, you'll be right. And from then on, man, it was started in the body truck. And I was lucky. Even though it was, 2000, which is not that long ago, but I learnt the proper way. I started in the yard, untarping trucks, learning how to roll tarps out properly, fucking doing all the shit jobs, washing trucks, fucking starting the body truck, get your semi license, drive around the semi for a bit. You want your B double license, drag the A trail around for a bit, and then, and I loved that shit. It was fucking awesome.
Good times.
Yeah, it was, but no time at home, And
then, of course. And that's a sacrifice, isn't it?
It is. You're away from home all the time, and I didn't do a lot of away stuff once I met my new wife, Nellie.
Yeah.
But
shout out to Nellie.
Yeah, shout out to Nellie sitting over there. She hasn't had a fucking thrown or anything at me yet.
You haven't
had a dirty look yet.
She hasn't told you to cut it.
Yeah, it hasn't been fucking shut up. But and I suppose that's where I'm going from radio and meeting Nellie to blended families, mate.
Yeah,
there's some fucking fun right there,
for sure.
So I met Nellie at the local bowls club.
Yeah, you have to tell us. Yeah, which bowl club was it?
Shout out to the fucking Alligator Creek Bowls Club, mate. Dayton service.
I love you. We were talking about it last night and about how you did the old slide up the bar table.
Yeah, it was fucking. I was sitting there outside having a smoke, because I was cool then smoking. And she's sitting there with a bloke. This is how fucking small it is. She's sitting there with my ex-wife's mother's ex-boyfriend. That's like, I keep my circle fucking close, man. I like them all to be related or closely related. Anyway,
that's how we do it.
Turns out he's friends with Nellie, and they're yarn around. I'm sort of sitting there, and then I hear Nellie say something about that she's a single mother. Well, I went from fucking one end of that table to sitting straight across from her, like fucking in a heartbeat mode. And then just started to fucking put the tune on.
Oh, mate, straight into it.
Yeah, just couldn't resist it.
Yeah,
anyway, fucking one thing led to another, and 6 weeks later, I told her I was going to marry her.
Yep.
She said, "You're a fucking idiot. You haven't even asked me, mother." So the next day we went to mother's and I asked her, and she fucking loved me from the start. Because I was,
did you?
I was completely different to what Nellie has taken home to her mother. She's taken home prim and proper good boys to her mum, and she turns up with a tattooed, bearded, rebel fucking
rebel without a cause.
Rebel without a clue, mate, is what it is. It's fucking rebel without a clue. But so we met at the local bowls club, and at that stage, Nellie had a 12-year-old son and a 15-year-old monster girl. Yeah, she was hard work, but she's just kids, mate. You know, you get the old, "You're not my father" sort of deal, and it's like, yep, exactly, fucking right. That's why I'm still here, and fucking he's not. But you know, it is what it is, mate. I try not to. I don't know her father.
Yeah, sure.
I've met him a couple of times, and it is what it is, mate. She's got a 4-month-old granddaughter that he knows nothing about, so I'm doing all right.
Yeah,
you know, I get to have cuddles, and whereas he's not even interested. It is what it is, mate. But
you get the benefits, mate.
100% reap the benefits. You know, like them kids. I treat them like my own. I call them my kids. Anyone who asks, I've got 4 kids.
Yep.
They want to know the nitty gritty. Well, we can get into it. That, you know, 2 are from here and 2 are from there, or one's from there and one's from there, and that's what it is. But they've got on pretty well, the kids, which has been good. They were pretty tight there. And it's always a bit different, you know. Like we dated for a while, well, a good while before we moved in, and when we moved in, there was a few waves about who was getting what bedroom, and as it was, fucking the eldest daughter got fucked the hardest. She got put in a caravan there, out in the fucking a flea-ridden fucking caravan, mind you. We paid a fucking fortune for this caravan from this Sheila. Got it home, blew a fucking tire on the way home. She was dragging it for me anyway. Got it sorted. Full of fucking fleas.
Oh, really?
Oh, fucking terrible. We bombed it there, but anyway. She ended up enjoying the caravan.
I was going to say,
life.
she probably would have loved it because it would have been like her own little home.
She was at that age. She was grade 11 and 12, I think. Or might have only been grade 12 she's in there. But the kids got on really well, and we decided, we'd met in the May of Mother's Day weekend of 2007. So we decided that Christmas time that year would be to load all 5 of us into a Ford Focus and go to Canberra.
Holy, that would have been tight.
Because I wanted to buy fucking fireworks, see? So we'll be down Canberra for New Year's Eve. I would get some fireworks in. We didn't get as far as Canberra. We got as far as Dubbo, and we said, fucking, we're going to kill you kids. We're going to stay here for an extra night. So we stayed in Dubbo and then went to Sydney the next day, and that was a big 6,500 kilometres.
Jeez.
And the fucking kids, we bought them all their own little screen to watch on. As soon as we drove out the driveway, they're all leaning and watching the one movie, and it'd get to the point, don't touch me, he's touching me. It's like,
oh, you got to love that.
Oh, fucking
I'll turn this goddamn car around.
Yeah, I'll kill us all, eh? Like, I'll fucking kill us all. Not quite, but we had a good time though. Fucking, we did a lot of sightseeing, a lot of driving, and
that's awesome.
Yeah, went to Sydney and showed the kids some fucking pretty, you know, they're born in a town of 200 people. You know, they grew up and grew, and then Townsville's not, you know, a couple 100,000. But, and I just said to them, like, when we get down there, I said, you're going to see some people not doing it so well. You know what I mean?
Of course, definitely.
And don't be staring. And if shit goes bad, you just stay with me, and as long as you're not fucking, as long as they're not losing their shit because you're gigging them because of whatever, then it will be all good. And it was different. I hadn't seen a lot of that shit, you know what I mean? I backed into doorways begging, and one Sheila, she was at fucking Darling at the wharfs at the ferries, and she had the best fucking spot in Sydney, mate. She had her own fucking chair piled high with fucking garbage bags, man, like just of, I don't know what she was collecting, but she was homeless. And sleep all day. And the kids say, oh, why is she asleep all day? I said, because that fucking nighttime when all the fucking idiots come out, she's got to be awake.
Yeah,
otherwise she's not. It was crazy to see that, and the kids got to see it, but that was the yeah. So we just booked everything off the internet, pre-booked everything. We had no fucking idea. Sydney is Sydney to us, so we don't.
Yeah, it's foreign country.
Yeah, so we booked a motel for fucking 5 nights in Double Bay.
Okay, yeah.
Double Bay, double pay.
Yeah.
I didn't know it was called that.
Yeah.
So every night we'd sit up on the fucking balcony and watch these Lamborghinis with P plates and fucking AMGs and all these flash cars, man, come down there and try and parallel park, and they'd hit the gutter and fucking.
Oh, jeez.
Me and the kids would just sit up there and fucking giggle, eh? When Nelly walked into a shoe shop.
Yeah.
And asked this lady the price on shoes. If you've got to ask, you can't afford them. She said, right, oh, fuck you, I'm out of here then.
Wow.
Just rude.
You've got to ask, you can't afford them.
The kids felt the people's the money, the rudeness of the money.
Rudeness,
you know, when people have got lots and lots of money, they tend to think that they can do anything and get away with anything and it be okay. When it, a stiff jab to the draw will shorten you up and make you realise that money fucking ain't everything.
No, that's
but anyway,
exactly right.
The kids even felt. But when we left, so when we got there, they were doing up this motel, and they said, "Oh, you can use the car park across the road, double story." So we've gone over there, and all these fuckers are parked over the white lines.
Yeah,
I'm like, "Righto, bro, if that's how we do it, that's how we fucking do it." So I've parked like that. I didn't realise they're parking their $300,000 cars over 2 car parks and no fucker scratches them. I got a $20,000 Ford Focus or whatever it's there, $15,000 Ford Focus. Parked over 2 white lines for fucking 7 days or whatever it was. We get up there to pick it up, and here's this Nate. What was it? They called me for all the cunts under the sun and useless motherfucker thinking someone wants to scratch your precious little fucking Ford Focus. And I'm like, righto, fuckers, you want to see hillbilly? Watch this shit. So I pulled up out the front of the motel, 2 wheels up on the fucking side of the curb, and proceeded to empty everything out of this fucking Ford Focus. So every time we put out, so there was literally, when we got back to Brisbane, we had to buy a roof rack and a big roof bag to fit everything, the shit that we'd bought on the way.
Of course.
So I've just emptied this shit out all over the sidewalk and just proceeded to pack a car, and I was fucking wild, eh?
Yeah.
Well, actually, she gave me the note. Nelly gave me the note after we left because she said, I didn't want to show you this while we're here. And I'm like, yeah, get me out of Sydney.
We got one the other day. We were up at Mackay, and we were in a Chevy 1500 with my mate Cam, and someone left a note telling us, we're in the Centre Island Park, you need to move this fucking big piece, this big thing, because it's blocking the views of just spiteful people. Like, it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's
what's the point? Someone's got to take the effort to write a note. Like, if you've got the balls, or you got say it to the person. And see how far that gets you.
Yeah, but just it was different.
Yeah, no, what a pain in the ass.
Definitely different. But and then we just started doing moved in and got married in 2009 at home. Yeah, had the kids and just close family at home, and been just going along doing life. And then probably August, September 2022, I was getting a few pains and shit, of reflux and whatever, and I didn't think much of it. And I've been going to the doctors, but I'd never get to see my doctor. It was always just a doctor that was there, and you constipated. Yeah. Oh, good. So
where was the pain coming from?
Sort of sternum, stomach sort of area, and I didn't really think much of it anyway. End up getting to see my doctor, and he's pretty thorough, my old doctor, and he's only a young fella, and he said, have you done your bowel screen? I said, no, I haven't done my 50-year-old. I didn't do it. You get it from the government. I didn't do it. And he said, it's all good. We'll you can shit in a bag. It'll be 6 to 12 months. Or he said, you can do a colonoscopy. He said, I'm actually the local fella, and Stephen Farley's the bloke's name in Townsville that does all the endoscopies and colonoscopies and shit. He said, I'm his anaesthetist on a Wednesday. He said, I'll waive my fee. He said, I'm a good mates with him. I'll get him to waive his fee, and we'll get you in and do a colonoscopy. At least that way we can get rid of it. We can do everything at once rather than having to, because he says that a lot of those shit in the bag tests for the government, they'll come back positive. Like 85% of them come back positive with bowel cancer, and that gets you panicking straight away. And so he didn't really want to set me off. So we went and did the colonoscopy, and I come to, and the wife was working that day, so I had a mate picking me up, and had me sandwich and drink a juice when I woke up, and then I said to the nurse, I'm right to go. And she said, oh, no, the doc wants to see you. Oh, good. So go in and see the doctors, and doc goes, oh, you got a tumour the size of an apple in your bowel. He said, no big deal. He said, I've referred you up to the hospital. They'll rip it out and just better mop up chemo. And you go pretty nonchalant. It was like everyday shit for him. I'm like, oh,
yeah, okay.
Fucking righto. He told me what the name of it was, and I said, oh, well, I'll check that later on Google, which I'll fucking never do again.
Yep,
that
fair call.
Leads down to a fucking rabbit hole. But
it does.
And then my doc says, oh, you got a 1 centimetre nodule on your prostate, you know, but don't worry about that. It'll be 10 years. What you got going on is a bit more important. So we're like, right, as we go and Google it, and fucking sigmoid carcinoma and this, that, and the other. And we panicked for a few days. And
naturally you would, yeah.
Yeah, and 5 days after, so the hospital rings me and says, oh, we've got you booked in. And it was like fucking 7 days after the colonoscopy, they got me booked in. So we starting to sort of think that it might be a bit serious. And so we do scans and everything, and then come around to the Thursday, and it's operation day. And so we go in for the operation and come back out, and I'm not too bad. They line me up with a little clicker for pain relief. You just push the button and it just injects a bit more, you know, as well as what they give you orally and shit. And we still hadn't been told much about what was going on, you know. It was sort of just get rid of this and you'll have a bit of chemo. And we didn't think much went on with, you know, a couple of needles, whatever.
Yeah.
And then I started to get a bit of pain, and then over the next couple of days it just got worse and worse, and the nurses could see me literally just swelling up, bloating up, and the nurses knew straight away that I was going to have an NGT, which is short for nasal gastric tube.
Okay.
They knew it was coming. They just had to wait for me to vomit.
It's funny how they have to wait for you to vomit too, eh?
Yeah, and they knew. The doctors, you know, the nurses sometimes know a lot more than the doctors when it comes to patients showing symptoms and what. I
suppose they'd see it firsthand.
Exactly right. And they get to see what comes after particular operations. Well, guess what? If it goes bad, this is going to happen. Or we know that when so as soon as you fuck with your bowel, as soon as they touch your bowel, cut any of it out, it throws a fucking fit and goes to sleep.
You're saying that. That's that's crazy.
And it takes days and days for it literally to start working again. So anyway, the pain's getting worse and worse, and the nurses are telling me this is going to happen. I'm like, well, you know, it took them 3 days before they got the right dose of drugs. They kept adding a bit more ketamine, and then on the last morning they come in, I'm like, fucking, you can back it down now, mate. She's working. You know, they talking about chasing green dragons and fucking shit like that. I don't know what it was, but it was fucking, she was the right part. The last night when they find like the pain was just, you tell them, and so I'd never had anything to do with hospitals.
Yeah.
This was my first major surgery. So you think you're going to see the doctor every morning. Well, no, you see the doctor, and then you see 5 or 6 of his fucking lackeys that are with him learning to be doctors.
Yeah.
And then the pain, then you get what they call the pain team comes in. It's like, so that's another 2 doctors with another 4 or 5 fucking lackeys behind them trying to work out what they need to give you for pain relief and how many times. So this clicker button measures how many times you click it, but you're only allowed a certain amount. I was pushing it 199 times a day, which is... That's how much pain. Like they said, if you feel pain, push that button. Yeah. And then they said, before you feel pain, push the button. I'm like, right, click. So they finally got the drugs worked out. They got rid of the pain. And then on the Monday morning, about 3:45, 2 nurses were in there doing their checking me blood pressure and whatever else, and fucking around. I said, oh, I feel a bit crook. She goes, there it comes, fucking hands me a bag, and I just spewed into a spew bag and just about filled it up. It was fucking just this green half. It looked like a cow's cud. It looked like half chewed fucking grass, like mulched up grass, just green, just terrible shit. I'm like, fucking, and I was, the moment I'd stopped, the nurses handed me a bottle of water and said, fucking drink that. I'm like, oh, thank fuck I could do it. She said, no, keep drinking it because I'm about to jam this fucking tube in there. So away we go. We're drinking that and get the tube down, and they plug me in, and that's all good. The pain's gone, and I'm slowly filling this bag up, which they empty over the next few days. But 3 or 4 hours later, they take me out for a scan and come back, and they said, oh, yeah, you've had complications. The piece of your bowel we've cut out. There's another piece of the bit of the small intestine runs through a bit of a fucking sort of channel or fucking, and it's shrinked up on it and was what's causing the pain. So they've had to go back in and pull it back out, cut some fucking fat, jam the fat in the fucking hole, and then let the shit roll back in, and hopefully it fucking doesn't do it again. So we've so we go and do a scan, and then we're sort of sitting there and it'll be, you're going in a couple of hours or whatever, a bit later on, and then, not long later they've come in and fucking torn me away, and the missus is freaking thinking it's all going to go to shit, and I'm laying in front of the fucking doors of this, this surgery again for the second time in fucking 4 days, and hadn't been in one in fucking 50 years. So I'm thinking it's all going to go to shit, fucking woe is me. And anyway, we get it done, wake up, and I'm feeling sorry for myself, and fucking look over to the left, and here's like a, couple of month-old baby that's just had open heart surgery, and then to me right there's a 5-year-old that's had something else internal done, and I'm like, what are you fucking sooking about, mate? You fucking
gives you a bit of a perspective,
does, man.
Doesn't it?
You get old, woe is me, and fucking why is it happening? Why is it happening to me? Why is it happening to me? And then you see shit like that with little kids, and it's like, well, why little kids got to deal with that? Well, I'm not a religious person, and that's what I always say. If there was a God, why has he picked that child? Why,
of course.
Why is that child's parents fucking strong enough to go through their fucking kid having leukemia? Or why is that kid, God chose that child for leukemia? It would be fucked. If he was a fucking true and fair God, kids wouldn't get fucking sick, mate.
Well,
Simple
kids
as
are
that.
the most innocent thing in the world,
grow
aren't
up
they?
and not exactly right, man. So it is what it is. You believe on your fake friend, whoever you want to be. I don't care. You can if it works for you and it helps your head be good, then I'm all for it. Whatever you want to do, that's your deal, mate. But when you see shit like that, it brings you. I'll have some sooky days at home, and I'll go, and then you go, So we we're in the room there, and one of the doctors, Lucky's, come in and finally give us a bit more information. We sort of were dumbfounded from the start. Every time they'd tell us something, we'd be just blown away by the diagnosis or whatever was going on. So we weren't really asking a lot of questions. But so she's come in and finally we've said, like, what's the go? What's going on? What are we actually dealing with? And she said, we've actually got was a sigmoid carcinoma was what was going on in my bowel, and then it had metastasized, which is another new word I learnt.
Yeah.
So, which means it's then moved from its original site. So I've still got bowel cancer.
Yes.
But it's moved into my liver. So it had already moved into my liver.
Okay.
So as soon as we found, we said, well, righto, what does that mean? Well, you fucking 12 to 18, 6 months without chemo, 12 to 18 months with chemo.
That was the initial diagnosis?
That was the initial diagnosis, and Nelly said, well, fuck this, we're not sitting in the hospital. You just can't fucking, you can't do anything more for him right now other than he needs to heal from the operation, and then we'll deal with whatever's going on. So we've got straight out of hospital and, gone home and just shaking our heads for...
I was going to say, you're in a bit of despair, didn't know bit of shock. You're not sure to know what's going on.
No, and you don't. Like I said, we made the mistake of Googling sigmoid carcinoma, and so we were just dumbfounded. And every time we'd go in there, they'd tell us, and we'd be like, and we just. So every time we'd find out New Year's, I'd ring my daughter and. She'd have 1,000 questions for us. We'd like,
of course.
We were just, so next time we go back, we'd have a few questions and then we'd answer those ones, and she'd have fucking 1,000 more, and things would change. And it's, anyway, so we got that done, and we got out of hospital, and then 2 weeks later, they got me in for 3 or 4 weeks later, I think it was, they got me in for a procedure to put a portacath in, which is where they plug the chemo into, for those that don't know, it's just like a diaphragm that's put in under your skin on your chest, and it's pretty much runs a tube straight down beside your ticker that puts all the good stuff into
All the
make you crook.
Yep.
Well, yeah, it's not good stuff. It's fucking poison, but it is what it is. So we got that done, and then every step was panicking.
Yep.
Going for an operation. Fuck, I don't know what's coming. Panicking. Just head noise. Same to Portacath. What the fuck's that? Well, it's a local. And then you can feel them. There's no pain, but it's the fear of the unknown. You know?
Of course, definitely,
every
mate.
stage was something new. So then after the Portacath, it's like, give that 2 weeks and then you can start chemo. So the first day of chemo, they just bombard you with that much information. And it just fucking in one ear, out the other. They try and tell you the names of drugs and this and that, and it's like, just fucking plug it in, you know. So the Portacath's like a reusable site where they can take blood and give me drugs and shit from, but I only ever have it. So generally my week of chemo goes Tuesday morning, 6 o'clock into town, get a blood test because I like to do it early, then home, back to home, and then we go in generally see the doctor about 11:30, 12 o'clock, and you got to do a piss test from there just to make sure the glucose is down because one of the drugs fucks with that.
Wow,
and we just talk to him about how I'm feeling and how my blood tests went. My blood tests I've been the healthiest cancer patient they've ever had, I reckon.
Really?
Fucking, they tell me every time they see me, like, you're doing good. Your bloods are fucking awesome. Your piss is good. You're fucking not losing lots of weight. You look healthy, rah. So anyway, we do that Tuesday, and then Wednesday morning we go in 8 o'clock, and they can take. So what used to happen was we'd go in Wednesday morning early. They'd plug into the port, take the blood out, shoot it to the blood test mob, and then we'd hang around the hospital for 2 or 3 hours and then see the doctor, and then we'd see the doctor, and then I'd start chemo in the afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd bring a bottle home at the end of chemo. So chemo was 5 or 6 hours back when I started. And then I'd bring an infuse aid bottle home hanging around my neck, which continues to put chemo in me for another 46 hours. So when I was getting it done on a Wednesday, so then that means that this is how I sleep for 2 days. I sleep in a recliner chair, just reclined enough so that because if I'm flat, I can't sleep flat with a bottle.
Yep.
Oh, excuse me.
You're right, mate. So good.
Putting myself to sleep with all this fucking talking. But
You're right, brother.
so,
It's all good.
so yeah, Wednesday wasn't working because I was having to go back in Friday to get it off, and I'd go back in, they go, there's still too much in there, mate, go and come back. So I'd go home, and then by 7 p.m. Friday night, the fucking bottle would be empty, but I'd have to wait till Saturday morning to go back to get taken off. So I said, look, can I do me bloods in the doctor on Tuesday and start my chemo at 8 o'clock Wednesday morning, so then I've got a fucking chance to get the bottle off on a Friday. So that's how we've been doing it. And then, so we did that for all of last year, couple of scans in between. The first scan we did, the liver was just glows orange. So when they do a scan, they inject you with fucking some sort of dye, and anything with cancer shows up fucking bright, glows red. So start of last year, my liver was just fucking glowing red. So we did chemo, and during the year we did a couple of scans, and it was getting better. And by the end of the year, there was no active cancer in my liver. So I wasn't cancer-free, but there was no active cancer in there.
Yes.
So we went from 3 drugs. So I was on 3 or triplet. Well, I'm not even fucking sure. When they tell me, I don't even listen. I don't want to know what it's fucking called.
Yeah, of course. That's fair enough.
Put the poison into me and be done with it. But we had that all year, and then this year we started on, so that made me crook. Didn't spew. It's more bowel troubles, and it's not because I've got bowel cancer. It's because the chemo gives you're either constipated or you've got diarrhea. So they give you a fucking tablet for nausea, and they give you tablets to clog you up. Mm-hmm. Because it's generally diarrhea. But what you can get from it, which I've now learned, is you can get constipated diarrhea.
Oh, wow.
So what constipated diarrhea is you get constipated and you've got a fucking big turd sitting right at the door that ain't going anywhere, but then you get diarrhea, which will flow around the outside of the constipation.
Oh, wow.
And that's how you can shit straight up rather than normally shit goes down.
Yep.
It's fuck.
It's a weird.
My wife says, I don't know how you managed to shit under the seat. And I'm like, well, if you were to come in there with me after I've been had constipated diarrhea. So like it gets to this day, and it's not nice to talk about, but when people ask me how I'm going with it, that's all I can tell you about.
Yeah.
Is the sort of shits I've been having for 12 months. Then, like,
but like, do you want an honest opinion?
yeah,
Like, do you want my honest?
Do you really want to know what's going on?
Yeah,
Because I'll tell you, because regularly I'm trying to shit Coke cans out my ass.
Yeah.
Like regularly, I can nearly hear it tearing.
Jeez, yeah.
It's ridiculous, the pain, man. Like it's fucking bullshit. You know, I go from sitting down to shitting through an eye of an ear, like just running out of me like hot fat, to fucking rock hard stuff where I'm like, if I could get a teaspoon past it to get it out, I'd be asking for a teaspoon because this is fucking, it's hurting.
Yeah.
And then to the point where you go to the toilet and it feels like your fucking arsehole is stretching, but it's not. It's closed, ring tight, but your bum is that. It just hurts that much. It's like nothing's going on, but this is it's bullshit, mate.
Yeah.
And then this year to go on to maintenance chemo, which is not as many drugs and it's lighter. So all last year I was diarrhea or constipated diarrhea. This year it's constipation. So this year I'm swallowing laxatives.
Yeah, just
But
popping them.
I'm having to regulate it so that I haven't got the squirts because I don't get back to fucking squirts again.
Yeah.
And then the moment I get chemo goes, we're going to give you squirts for a day and we're going to trick you. We're going to trick you into taking a fucking a gastro stop.
Yeah.
And then that'll really fuck you because realistically you're going to be constipated, but we'll just give you we're just going to tickle you with a bit of diarrhea to think you got it. So then you'll drop a gastro stop and then we're going to go back to constipated. It's like,
that's brutal, isn't it?
and that's all I got to. That's pretty much how it is. Other than when they added the extra drug back in. So we did maintenance chemo all year, which has allowed me to be healthy and do shit. So I've gone back to work. I've bought a little machine and just doing a bit of shit around home and local places, just trying to keep me. I always thought, fucking can't wait to retire. I'll do nothing. And then you get sick and it's like, here's fucking retirement.
Yeah.
And then you go, well, actually, I fucking can't sit here and do nothing. I've got to do something. So I've been, you know, like I'm into me horse and carts. I've got a couple of old horses that pull a bit of a wagon and I figure around with that and it's. I thought I wouldn't want to do anything, and now all I want to do is try and do everything. You know what I mean? It's crazy. So,
well, I guess it's just. I think it's one of those things. Like, I guess now that you know that you've got this in front of you, that gives you a whole different perspective on life, and you want to sort of make the most of it where you can.
Yeah, and that's what it is. You know, like so we did maintenance chemo this year. Did some scans. Cancer's back. Yeah.
Really?
It's all good. So we can deal with that. Yep. We'll just ramp the chemo up again and we've had good results last year. We'll just bump one drug back in and you'll be right. So we bumped one drug back in, boom, hospital 4 days spewing. Couldn't keep a drop of food or water down. I'd put a teaspoon of water in my mouth to moisten my lips and just spew up a cup and a half, 2 cups. Just fucking terrible. Sick as I've been. So 4 days the first time, come back in the next fortnight. He gives me a break because of gut toxicity. So I'm cytotoxic. So when I have chemo, I need to flush the toilet twice.
Yeah.
There's no bodily fluids, contact, anything like that. It's all got to be done separate. So anyway, we've started on the lighter chemo, done 6 rounds of that, had a scan, boom, there's cancer back. Oh yeah, all good, right. Well, we'll bump your chemo up and we'll look at maybe an operation, but they don't really like to operate so there's no chance of a liver transplant or anything like that for me because once you've got cancer, that's it.
Yeah, okay.
They don't transplant any other body parts in you because I haven't got liver cancer. I've got bowel cancer, but it's moved into my liver. So anyway, we're fighting through that and see, their chemo brain's just turned up right now.
No, you're right, mate. That's all right.
What was I talking about?
Talking about the you're in hospital. It's spread. The cancer's back,
So we've got this
the chemo.
So we've upped the chemo, and it's rolled me, made me sick. Had a week off. dropped it by 20%. It's made me crook again. Righto, well, now we got to talk about an operation. So we go and see the liver surgeon. It was a meet and greet. It wasn't you're going to get surgery. We're just talking about it. And he filled us full of joy. He said, oh, yeah, no, between liver surgery and chemo, we can keep you going for years and we've got plenty of options and we can radiation on the lymph nodes in your chest and all that sort of shit. And it's like, oh, that's good news.
Yep.
So he said, we'll line you up, so we find out that they're going to line me up for surgery to get rid of this one lesion. It's in a spot where they can't get it through keyhole. The first lot of surgery was keyhole. So this one, they're going to just unbutton me from the top to the bottom.
Yeah, wow.
Pull it out, turn it over to get out. But it's all good. So we do some scans. So it was a month between those scans saying there was one lesion there. We do some scans getting ready for the surgery, and they start dropping a couple of another drug I was having. They drop it out because it stops your immune system from working.
Yep.
So we go in for the scans. Turns out, no, there's another bit of, so this is only last Monday, got the scans.
Yep.
Turns out there's more cancer in the liver, so now they no longer offer the operation.
Oh, wow.
So now we've got to go back to trying this other drug again and see if I can tolerate it. And one of the other drugs causes pins and needles in your fingers and feet and shit, and I've got a fair bit of that.
Yeah, you're dealing with that at the moment.
Yeah, it's there's something, it's that's the constant is the hands and feet thing, but it is what it is. We'll go back next week and line up. And
so that's where you are at the moment,
right at the moment so next week we go back and we're going to try this other drug that's been making me sick, but we're going to try it at 50%.
Yep.
And he wants to do 3 or 4 rounds with that, even if it makes me sick. He wants to do 3 or 4 rounds of that.
Yeah.
And then do some more scans to see if we can get them to move.
Yeah, sure.
Because we've still got options, but we're starting to run out of options. So if that doesn't work, the next option is to give me the drug which has caused the numbness in my fingers and feet. And then if that doesn't work, which I've told him I'm not interested, I don't really, that's the last option. And then from there we go to tablets, and tablets are the least strong of all the chemo drugs they've got. So, but yeah, it's a roller coaster. 1 minute I tell you good stuff, next minute it's bad, next minute it's good. So I try not to think about it. When they tell me good stuff, I don't really blow it up too much, and when they tell me bad stuff, I try not to blow it up too much. As I just sort of, I got too much other shit going on, man. I thinking about kids and
of course, and that's naturally what would come into your mind.
Yeah, and it's my kids aren't too bad. They're all grown up. They're always gonna remember me, and they and this day and age they've got videos of me, so they know what my voice and shit sounds like. Whereas when my father passed away, I would love nothing more than to be able to hear his voice now, because I've forgotten what it sounds like.
Yeah,
it's been since I was 16, so I'm 52 now. It's 36 years or something.
Yeah,
but it's my grandkids.
Yeah,
little fella's only 3. Shout out to Paddy, our young Patrick, Pat the rat, and and the little granddaughter Florence, Floss the boss. She's only 4 months old, so
even younger. There we go.
Yeah, so it's more that I think about, because Paddy will always know. He'll always be able to pick me out of a photo. I could drop dead now, and in 10 years' time, you could show him a photo, and he would be able to tell you who it is.
Who it is, yeah.
But he wouldn't remember who I am.
No,
he wouldn't remember the shit, like walking out. Every time I go outside, he's bolted to my leg. There's no going anywhere without him. He wants to be into everything I'm into, and that's when I might have a sookie moment if I'm in the shed listening to a podcast or something, and something will be said in it about kids, or it might just be something random, and then I'll start thinking about something, and then that'll lead me to the grandkids, and that inevitably leads me to being sad.
Of course.
Because I haven't had enough time with him yet.
Yeah,
3 years hasn't been enough. He's fucking awesome, and 3 years has been cool, but it hasn't been
You want
enough.
more.
Oh, fucking.
Of course, which anyone would.
Yeah, unfortunately, there is no cure for what I've got. And it's just a matter of time, but we're trying to make it
as much time as possible.
Yeah, it's like I say, it gets hard sometimes, and I don't want to quit. That's what I said to the doctor the other day. I don't want to give up. Like, I want to just fight until I can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I'm getting to the point where I can't fight anymore.
Yeah.
I'm not there. I'm hoping. I'm telling myself I'm still a ways away from it, but it's getting harder and harder. Like
Of course it would be.
I've aged fucking 20 years in 12 months. Like, once upon a time, I would walk in the yard with a bag of chook food in each hand like that, just fucking pick them up, bend your arms, and away you go. Now, I struggle with all that shit. I can't.
Yep.
I go out in the yard to do a bit of whippersnipping or whatever, and I might do half an hour, 45 minutes, but then I'm back sitting down for 2 or 3 hours because I'm just
knackered,
just fucked, you know what I mean? Like, and it is what it is, but like, what's the point of sitting in the shed crying? Yeah, I fucking do it. I've had a cry. I've had a few cries, mate. Sunday afternoon, we drove out of Mareeba Radio Grounds, and I was fucking sick in the guts all the way home. It was like I'd just left home or someone had passed away, and I got emotional.
Yeah.
I started crying before we got home. I just couldn't hold it back. And it was like, and I don't know whether it was a few things. I think it was, am I ever going to get to go back there again? Because Mareeba Radio, I've been to a lot of Mareeba Radios, and it was strange. It was really strange because I just felt that sick in the guts, like I'd lost somebody or something, and I think it was, am I ever going to get to go back? Because it just every time I go there, it feels like home. It doesn't feel.
Yeah. And I guess you'd have this thought in your head, is this going to be the last time I'm here?
Yeah. And it was a bit of, like I say, I love watching them young boys get around doing their thing, with the radio and the rough stock riding, bareback riders, saddle rock riders, bull riders, all. I'm taking after all of them. I love it all. And so I said to the wife, I don't know whether I'm fucking jealous of them young fellas that they're having a fucking red hot crack, and I wasted that time that I had, but then I didn't really waste it because I was fucking loving every minute of it.
Yeah, in your element at that time, weren't you, mate?
It's only now that you think back and you go, mate, if you'd have fucking laid off the left-handed a bit more and maybe exercised a bit more, and you could have gone somewhere. But then I go, well, fucking, would it have been as much fun?
That's exactly
right.
You
know what I mean?
I totally agree with you.
And I got lots of yarns about radio, but I'm not going to all of them, and some of them are not for repeat, like. And then boys would be glad I haven't repeated them, some of them. But these fellas are lifelong mates, like one fella particularly. I radioed with him my whole radio career, and it would have been nearly 10 years I went without seeing him, and then I just run into him randomly.
It was like yesterday?
Yeah, exactly, mate. It's
that's a good mate.
Exactly right. He'll flick me a message every now and then and just fucking see how I'm going, or he'll send me a bareback video or something. And he's the same man. He's fucking diehard cowboy. Like, and mate, I see him. He's trying to crack the fucking head off a black snake one day. Fuck me. Don't play with snakes, kids. You shouldn't do it. It's against the law to kill fucking snakes. But we're out running the boars or something at his place, and he's trying to crack the head off this fucking snake, and I'm like, man, you're gonna get bitten, eh? You just see us fucking wild, like. Pig hunting. He's the reason I hate pig hunting. He'd take me pig hunting. We would walk for fucking hours and hours and hours and hours and hours. And never fucking catch a thing.
Yeah.
But then when we got onto a stinker, we got on the good ones, like he loved that shit too. Like, but fellas like that, you just
mates
radioed with him at his wedding, fucking whole show, and then just life gets in the way, and you go, and he's
naturally
he's the mate in the boating. He's got 70,000 acres, and he was always coming home to property,
Yeah.
But yeah, don't see him for ages, and then run him in town. And like I say to the wife, I said, the deal when we run the emails, it was fuck off, because same, his missus works there. She said, I'll leave you two, and she fucks off, and we just stand there and yarn for an hour. And,
of course, mate.
And it's like nothing's changed, what I mean? And I there's a few blokes like that I don't see for a long time, and the wife doesn't understand the connection between me and my school friends. Like, for instance, in Mareeba on the weekend, and I don't sleep. I'm up all hours, and I wake up at fucking 4 o'clock Saturday morning and walked out the front, and I knew that there was markets being set up across the road from the motel.
Yep.
And I knew that my friend was going to be there setting the markets up. So I've just wandered over there in the dark and sitting around and spotted her walk in and give her a surprise and fucking had a yarn. And it was like we hadn't missed a day.
Yeah,
and this was back in 1988, you know, when we last.
Yeah, that's it. Like, I guess you go through like an experience, I could say, and put it in one way.
Yeah,
whether it's positive or negative, you go through an experience that you can share at that point in time of your life, and that's something that you go through forever. Like I had the same with Knuckles. Knuckles and I, same deal, mate. We've gone through some shit, and we've had some good times, we've had some bad times, and that's just stuff that we have, and we have the same times, man. Like we've gone through periods of time where we might not see each other for 6 months, 12 months, whatever it might be, just life getting in the way, just business, work, family. But when we catch up, it's just like yesterday.
Yeah.
It really is, mate.
And I've got a few good friends like that. And you know, and I've lost a few friends over the years too, because, you know, not everybody gets on and everybody's got different ideas. And,
same, mate.
And it is what it is, mate. I don't, you know, I still remember the good times I had with them, and like I say, it is what it is, mate. People come and go in your life, and right at the moment, it's all about family at the moment. You know, I've got some good mates that I still keep in contact with, and I'm not, and I haven't dropped anyone, and I'm not purposely dropping anyone, but at the moment, all I'm worried about is my wife and my kids,
of course,
and my grandkids, and I've got to. I want as much time with them as I can, and I want as much time with me good mates and that as I can as well, but. Is
that something that some bit of advice that you could give to people that might be going through the same thing?
Yeah. Well, I don't know about going through the same thing, but
similar, I guess, maybe.
Family's where it's at. At the end of the day, you know what I mean. Like friends come and go. I try to tell the kids that, especially the youngest daughter. Not so much now, but when she was younger, she was Facebook crazy. Mm-hmm. We took her fucking phone off her. She had a meltdown. Thought it was the end of her, you know. And I used to always say to her, what are you going to have fucking 1,500 friends for? I said, you probably only know 50 of them, and none of the fuckers are your friends anyway.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah.
Like I've got Facebook, and I get it. It's good to connect with people but you get a few people that want to connect with you. That there's a reason why I dropped you for the first time, mate. Don't make me drop you on Facebook. Don't make me publicly do it on Facebook.
Yeah, that's
you know
right.
what I mean? Like, so, but no, I just want to live long enough to see the kids do well, and they're all doing well. But I want to see the grandkids do well, and you know, I want to be around for as long as I can. Yeah. But like they say, I'm here for a good time, not a long time.
That's actually a good note, mate. Speaking of which, I've got now. This is normally I give these as guests, and I don't want to. I'm not implying anything on you at all. But we got. It's a special one.
As long as you haven't got an end date on it, eh? Like I know what's coming, but as long as there's not a fucking end date.
Well, mate, you get the special one today, mate. You get the gold one. So normally the guests get the silver one, mate. Today you've got the special one. So you've got a gold nameplate with your name on it, mate. So that's for you for being a guest on the Deadass podcast.
Thank you very much.
Hey, you're welcome, mate.
Appreciate it.
On that note, you were kind enough to actually bring me a bottle of Don Julio.
Don Julio.
Don Julio.
Don Julio.
Yeah, that's how we say it in Australia.
Yeah,
right?
that's exactly
Don
right.
Julio.
Fucking Don Julio.
So we got this is a nice bottle too, mate. And I bloody appreciate it.
If I wasn't a fucking teetotaler, and there's a reason why I'm a teetotaler.
Yeah.
I promised my wife I'd never drink again because I was an ass.
No, that's fair enough. But I'll have one. I'll have one in your honor.
I'll definitely have one.
I'll have one in your honor.
Does Nelly want one?
Do you want one, Nelly?
Go on. She's drinking beers yesterday with Cole. You
want a shot with me?
Might as well have a shot. Yeah.
Have one.
She's an old black Zambuca drinker from way back.
I love it. There you go.
Yeah, go on.
Oh, Cole's having one too. Here we go.
I don't know. He called me a cunt yesterday.
I know, mate.
Because I mentioned where I was born. It's not my fault I was born in Sydney.
Because of the colour of your jersey.
Yeah, because of the colour of my jersey.
Yeah, up the Blues tonight too, eh?
Yeah. Where's the spot? Yeah, I need to find out where the spot is to go and watch that.
Yeah, bloody hell. Well, to good health, mate.
Yeah, cheers.
Cheers, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me. Thanks for having us. Thanks for...
You're welcome, mate. Oh, wow, that's really smooth.
Yeah, it's smooth.
It's very smooth, isn't it? Yeah, shit.
Yeah, that first bottle. I hope you finished all that and fucked it off because nobody was liking that.
That first one, mate, that was like fucking rocket fuel.
Yeah.
This is really nice, this one, mate.
No, good. Well, there you
Mate,
go.
that will go straight on the table here, mate, with the others.
No worries.
I'm completely honoured, mate. On that note, mate, like at this point in time, you said that when you first got diagnosed, the initial diagnosis was, was it 12 months of maximum?
So they initially told us 6 months no chemo, 12 to 18 months with chemo.
And where are you at the moment?
15 months.
15 months.
Yeah, we'll say 15.
Yeah. Mate, mate, I wish you all the best on your journey from here on, mate. And I'd love to get updates and let us know how you're going with everything. And I'll also give updates to the pallbearers, to the people who listen to the podcast, mate. I'll give them an update, let everyone know how you're going too.
Yep.
But I'm absolutely honoured and privileged that you came down to share your story, mate. This is part of why I wanted to do this podcast in the beginning.
And
because
the moment I saw you on Alpha Blokes, and then I went and listened to your first podcast with Nico, and this is how much I listen to shit. I don't know what sort of cancer he's got, man.
Yeah.
But it doesn't fucking matter. He's got cancer. He's fighting a battle. And it was like, well, fuck, if that's what you're actually doing this show for, then fucking hook me up.
No, mate, I appreciate it.
And I was expecting a fucking bottle of tequila, mate. It's fuck all for what you've done. The whole everything, man, the getting us out of Townsville, like getting us.
No, mate, I'm privileged. So thank you so much, mate. This has been an honour for me. I'm really genuinely like just honoured to be a part of it, mate. So thank you so much for that, mate. We'll like I said, we'll let the listeners know of your updates and how everything going. As new information comes through, just flick me an email and I'll read it out and let people know. So people are aware of it. No, thanks once again for that, Ben, mate. I appreciate it, mate. All the best, eh?
No, thank you.
Cheers, mate.